could, no, the rain could.
Hey, welcome back to Métropole Grid. My name is Andre. Thanks so much for tuning in. It is March 19th, 2026. I'm pretty sure at least. Oh, hold on. I didn't stop this. So we're going to have a loop. How's everyone doing? I'll let you in on a little secret. I forgot today. Usually there's a little light there. I like bend it behind the monitor so you don't see it because it's like protruding. It's distracting. You don't want that. I forgot about it today. We started a bit late, so we're just going to have to live in that world. We all just can like address it for a moment. It's a really cheap light, but it like works fine. Just weird. It's just weird to be there. Hey Gyro, how's it going? Métropole Grid. Hey Eric, this stream reminded me that's Thursday, and I'm almost to the weekend. Yay, good job, Métropole Grid. Living for the weekend. How's it going, Eric? Hopefully you've been well. Hey RSRN. Yeah, you did get sniped, Impish. Finally remember to check my homepage in time to catch it as it starts. We actually started like 2 minutes late, so apologies for that, but we'll be able to catch up on time. Jessica, how you doing, Brendan? It's the Grid. How's everyone doing this Thursday night? We've had a good Netrunner week. I've actually managed to play a lot of Netrunner in this last, whatever 7 times 24 is. We had a GNK or a CTK, they're now called. We had 16 people come out and play, which I think is the biggest CTK Montreal's had in a moment. That's a pretty big size for a casual event, which is kind of sick. So we went out and played on Saturday. I prepped for it. There was a top cut. We'll talk about story time of the decks I played, and it's a really fun story time, I think, but we'll talk about that after the deck list of the week. We're going to do the deck list of the week, and then we're going to do some deck building tonight. There's a thing I want to try that I haven't tried yet. There's still a fair bit of vantage point that I haven't put myself behind the wheel of as much as I have faced off of it on the other side of the table. So we're going to figure that one out. Lazy, how's it going? Hey, sup? How you doing? Friday Arvo for me. Hey, super not. Good evening. Yeah, hopefully you've been well. There's like big tournaments coming in, so we're also gonna take a break to look at some of the tournament reports, and like deck lists are getting published, so you can see kind of like really early what the vantage point meta looks like. I don't think there's any big surprises so far, but that can't be super surprising for an early meta. But you see just some data points starting to coalesce. Like, do we get the average Vic deck at this point? Is that, you know, how good is that? What is it bad into? That sort of stuff. What is Anarch doing? The answer seems to be good stuff Anarch. Just good stuff Anarch seems to be what people want to play. Then on the corp side, of course, you got a bunch of different things. We'll talk about it. Of course, we'll talk about it. Is it op day? It is op day, and I've actually played one game of this off camera, 1 or 2, maybe 2. This is when the going is smooth and good. This is one of the 2 op lists that showed up against the or in the EA Sports versus Tiebreakers kind of show match, which you can find. Hopefully it's linked there in the description. That Cobra links. Yeah, it's right there, so you can watch it. There is 2 op lists. This one is probably the more sensible of the 2, I think, but it's just like pretty straightforward. It's just good stuff op. Weird stuff in here that I don't fully understand, right? And this tells you like some understanding, hopefully, of how good this card is and where it's going to show up. This is Let Them Dream. It's a 1 influence 4/2 agenda, and when you can score this, you can search HQ R&D or archives for an agenda and reveal it, and then you can either add it to your hand and put it on the bottom of your deck. Now, I have scored this immediately while playing this deck, and then shuffled with op the next turn. Totally forgetting about that ability. But you can take one of the 2 5/3s, put it on the bottom of the deck, and say, I'm never going to fire op again, which like makes no sense in the context of this deck. And I think that just tells you like people value this enough just to be worth 1 fewer point in your deck. And I think the math lines up. I do think the math actually really lines up, that this text on its own is good enough. You can set it up with the Holloman, which is kind of nice, that if you Holloman out and score a Let Them Dream, you'll have a click left, so you can jam the next agenda and hopefully go for there. I think most of the ops I've been playing are actually like hype machine ops, and I think these are really quite cool. I've been playing like triple hype machine ops. This card's neat. It's interesting. It's a 6 cost trashable, so you can instantly go grab an envelopment, which is a pretty good card. You can grab this with like powers that be. You can grab this with Malapert Data Vault. There's a lot of cool tricks you can do with hype machine. And then even if you res it for 0, it technically counts as a 6 coster. So you can pre-advance the next agenda and get an envelopment on the same server or a different server. My list was sensible, maybe. I forget what yours was, cool lava. How's it going? I knew that you'd be on the other end of that attack. But yeah, this is mostly what I've been playing when I'm playing op. It's like trying out hype machine. It's been actually relatively good. This list is just like more reg toolbox. There is the Myoshu, and I think playing 1x Myoshu might make some sense. I think you're going to see this creep into some Wayland decks. The big thing here is, well, a couple things. Firstly, we have a Malapert Data Vault, so if you already have enough money, you can grab the Myoshu and just end the game by scoring 2 agendas, which is pretty cool. You also have Holloman, so it's not that hard to score an agenda with a click left, which is what you need from Myoshu, and these work really well together. We're not on the, I never remember the name of that card where it's like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You know, Humanoid. We're not on Humanoid, but we're still on Mitra, which is meant to be interesting. We have Tucano, Tukana, we had Tranquility, we have all these like tempo pieces. Notably, we also have Stavka, which is cool to see, and we do not have a Half Rune, which maybe that's not necessary. I want to shout out that Event Horizon, of course, seems to be a huge op card, and it is. And it does feel good to rush behind this thing the way they used to rush behind Border Control, where you just put something behind a 4-cost ice, and if they break it, well, you just get a 3-cost ice that ends the run. And so you see a lot of decks that are playing 3-cost barriers, 3-cost code gates. This one is playing 3-cost code gates. After is pretty good. With the bad publicity change, it won't matter for this deck, but it's quite nice. And then we have a whole bunch of barriers. The one that Kolava was playing, I thought was really interesting because it was playing Sleipnir. And I think specifically if you have envelopments in your list, and a lot of envelopments, say you're playing a hype machine list, having a 4-cost end the run code gate is actually pretty valuable because you have now a 4-cost sentry that's worth getting when you trash a 5-coster. You always have 4-cost barriers. Actually, that's not that easy. You have to play like Tree Line. There's no 4-cost barrier in this list. But having a 4-cost end the run code gate is actually pretty sick. And shout out to the Sleipnir choice, which I think is really, really kind of good. LTD is off the books, but worth 1 fewer point to the runner. Yeah, but off the books actually has good text. But apparently this text is just as good, if not better. And I could see that for sure. Sustainable Economy and Anarch feel like opposite vibes to me, but here we are. I think they have really strong, just resilient, boring economy. Not playing Reduced Service, I remain the only stand for that card. It's hard. You have to pay 8 for this thing, and then, you know, they have to still are able to interact with it. It's tricky because they have to make like bad runs, but I don't know. Maybe you play this in Melias. I don't think you do. This card has always been, it just gives a slightly bit too much agency to runners, because if they just like run centrals incidentally because they want to use their Chesva and their DreamNet, this just loses power. But it's a cool card, especially if you can de-res it, that's for sure. Neat card though. Exactly 1x of each Sleipnir, Ashar, and Flyswatter descend to my current go-to for code gates and op. I think you want to play more than one ofs just so you don't get caught off balance. Notably, this deck is on 2 Descent. I think I'd probably play 1 Descent and 1 Flyswatter. I think just having Flyswatter is like a really good tech card. The same way like having Kessleroid is a good enough tech card. But I do think just having a Flyswatter, and it only works, mind you, during a run. So it's sometimes not that easy to get that value purge when you do a Tukana. And the last thing I need to say on this deck is, what the heck is this here for? Like, I genuinely don't understand why this is in the list. I don't think this card actually does anything. I'm happy to be proven wrong. It's also a region, which makes this slightly tricky. Like, you can technically lose a game if you put Tranquility and Shackleton in the same server, but I just don't get this card at all. To be very clear, like, I don't like the design of this card. I've said that many times before, but you can't like res this after they spend credits. So you have to res this for 1 and then they decide not to spend credits. There's some cases where it's like, oh, you can't use the Chesva, so the run sucks. I just don't see it being super impactful that's worth a slot. It is a 1-coster that you can grab from your deck, so maybe the floor is that low that you can just toolbox every card. But like, I would so easily trade this for like a what's it called? Flywheel. That's a totally fine card a deck like this could be playing. But instead we're playing Shackleton, which I don't understand. Saving the Overclock lore, how's it going? Yeah, sure, but like, that's not worth a slot, is it? That's not worth a slot. You're already okay into Overclock. You have Event Horizons and stuff, right? Hey, Crowar, you won't be proven wrong. Shackleton reads in very specific matchups force a piece of ice to fire. Is that good enough? Because we're the faction that could be playing Zato City Grid. Like, we can just let ice fire all we want. I don't get it. It seems such a situational card that is dead in not probably any matchup. Like, I think every matchup has credits they need for it, but it's just like, yeah, it's, hey, how's it going, Soulmere? It seems incredibly narrow. It doesn't seem incredibly interesting. I just don't like the card. It's not good. I cut the 1-cost slot for a tithe once I tried this list. Yeah, I would definitely cut it for a tithe. I would cut it for any other 1-coster or another non-1-coster. It's no way good enough. That's what I'm hoping, because, oh my God, I do not like the text of this card. It was 1 week, and I think it was an early meta call into Stealth Shaper. Oh yeah, I could see that. If you think Stealth Shaper is going to be everywhere, like, this is technically a card you can play. I honestly think like maybe into Stealth Shaper, just ending the run and saying you don't have enough stealth credits could be good enough, but Shackleton exists to make Aircheck even more unplayable. Thalmel, how's it going? I don't know if Aircheck is super unplayable. I don't think people are rushing to play it, but I don't think you have to dunk on those people. I don't think you're worried about that. How's it going? Notably 2 Regolith, which is cool. You're not on 1, and this deck is on 2 Mavirus, which is just genuinely very good. This list is good and fine and smooth. You can definitely move some slots around. That's a really cool thing with Op. It's like even making tiny changes to the deck is something that you actually can perceive, and that is a very satisfying thing to tune. Aircheck can flip Daily twice in 1 click. Yeah, and bad publicity twice. It's like perfect for the set. Have you been playing Daily, Laura? I gotta see like 1 Daily matchup in a tournament I was watching, and it like was playing against Melies, so it flipped like maybe 4 times. It seems okay. I'm not surprised that Shackleton in an op deck. Any card with a res cost is an op card. Yeah, but like that fallacy, you know that fallacy. Any card is a pawn shop card. Like you can play any card, right? It's cool though. You're right. Out of any deck that can toolbox the use specific card in the specific matchup, this is a matchup where like, hold on, this is it's not that deck. I was just gonna say about like in this matchup we should be playing the Fly Swatter. Classically, Gyro doesn't break ice. Gyro bypasses ice and plays Botulus, which like is already an interesting matchup. We're not unfavored into it, but yeah, I could see us easily playing a Fly Swatter. Instead, we're playing against probably just good stuff Vic. All right, Dewi tough when Melius and Leo good. Yeah, I could see that. It's really hard to not convince yourself just to play regular value shaper that doesn't need successful runs. Thanks, you too. All right. So we want to ice HQ, criminal standard, don't get transferred. Maskarovka and Antil's really good because if our opponent face checks it, like we can res it, and if the face check fires, we can still res the Antil. This hand is not awful. If we draw one more ice for HQ, it's a really good spot. I'm assuming we're on like 50 ice, 16 ice. So there's a chance we get an ice here, but otherwise we have to do triple install. I think our hand can be so much worse. Like worst case scenario, we install the Maskarovka. The problem is if they do boomerang transfer, we kind of just lose the game unless we draw an extract. But I think we can keep this. Best case, we draw like a cheap end the run for HQ. You used to joke about knickknacking whales. Look where we are now. That was not a joke. That was that's what we wanted to do. All right. Descent is cool. Technically, it's boomerang proof, sort of. We lose to boomerang transfer, sort of. We res the ant till it gets awkward. We also lose to pinhole really bad, but that's usually how this deck goes. Nice. Despite being value pilled, Vic does nothing for me. Supernaut, I'm kind of coming around to that. I played Vic this weekend, and like I am very frustrated that the text box doesn't do anything. And then I'm being convinced by folks like, hey, maybe you should just play Moosely Hot. And honestly, maybe they're right. I'll take a 33% chance here. Because if we res this, we can't res the Antil. Nice. Like, it's just DreamNet, right? And DreamNet is just that good. But unfortunately, yeah, this is a bit, maybe something else could be better. I don't know. Vic's tech should have just been DreamNet. It would be pretty busted if it was. Open market class act, we get the Antil. Okay, good trade. All right, we have Holloman as Yef. I imagine we only have like 9 agendas. Yeah, so we shouldn't be drawing that many more agendas. The Holloman can go into server 1 and looks like literally anything. In theory, we can score the Mitra and trash the Maskarovka. We want to get a second ice on HQ so we don't get just straight boomerang transferred. We'll maybe score that next turn, but there's not much we can do here. I think the idea must have ice HQ versus crim transfer isn't always right. Being able to open with hedge iced econ assets is probably stronger. I'm not 100% sure into Vic where the tag is like easy to clear. I think you still want to do it. There are openings where you put 3 cards on the table that are assets and don't give a like that. I won't care about, but I think hedge fund ice that like the HQ run is still really, really good for Vic. It's like a 8 credit swing on turn 1. I think you should still ice HQ. We lost the Antil, very importantly. It only had 4 credits on it, but it does become a 3 coster, which is very, very good for our opponent to stop that. I got to use the Chesler credits too, which is nice. I think I want to play more Cheslers than I'm playing in my Vic decks. I think I'm only playing 1. I think I want to. I think I really do want 2 Cheslers. What's in the mug? Bengal Tiger Tea, I think it's what it is. Reavers, how's it going? Hey, hope you're having a good stream. Just tuned your system gateway damage deck into Startup Flood, the market deck. Haven't tried it yet, but hope it works. Yo, let me know how that goes. That sounds really quite fun. I have no idea what Startup looks like now with the new rotation. Probably not a good use of my time. Trash the second Antil. That's sick. Hopefully it goes well. They make tea out of tigers now? I mean, kind of. All right, so unfortunately, we don't have money to do anything. Above the law, best case scenario would be to trash a daily cast if they're playing it, trash a companion if he's playing it, but more likely just to trash the first DreamNet, which is going to be a bit expensive here. Remote server is relatively safe, but there's not much we can do here, right? Like we can draw once. Like this is not really a play. We're down to 4. If we get transferred, it's pretty bad. We could ice up R&D. There's only like 6 agendas and 37. Like this is probably a bad line because committing to score the above the law costs 6 credits, which we don't really have here. Hey Lunari, how's it going? If this hits something really juicy, we're good. Don't we jam his Yef here? I think you're probably right that we likely do have to jam in his Yef. Because if we trash the Yef, I mean, maybe the Maskarova can become a Regolith and we go from there. That's probably a bit better. I think you're right, especially because there's no obvious target here. So this is very likely to steal an agenda. Well, 40% is still something. If we don't res here, they get another credit too. So we're going to stop that. Let's go before he gets banned along with Deep Dive. Hey, that's sick. Okay. Worth it. I'm going to throw out the Myoshu. Oh, wow. Look, we're going to be clicking for credits for a moment, but at least he can't hurt us. Our ice is rezzed. 2 measures is a bit much. The Myoshu is technically a win con, but imagine having another agenda and 10 more credits. Seems unlikely. We have to top deck what's it called? The thing. Yeah, can't matter. The only gem is if your tutor Tucana first score is really good. Yeah, I could see it. If we trash our Masquerade into it, I think we just don't have the money to do it. Like here we could get a piece of ice. It's good to get the Tucana going. I could see that being cracked. Like I don't like this jam down to 0 because we don't have a game plan. There's no econ card we can play next turn. So like I don't love it. Becomes a Tucana which finds a new masker better. Yeah. Yeah, I could see that being right for sure. Let alone doing 2 meat damage is like probably good. We got lucky that was a fully daily cast, which I think is the best target we could possibly get here. Gyro has played 1 Bravado, 1 daily cast, so he definitely has a ton of money in the deck. Card-bait DMs are not guaranteed, but Clean Getaway R&D is really open. Bravado Server 1 is pretty open. No shot they find an agenda in R&D. Yeah, that's what I'm at least happy about in some way, but look at this hand. It's a full house. Pretty good. I understand how they ordered for Dream that. Cards are really good. It's your ID. Like Vic's ID text is going to fire maybe once this game. Yeah, we got really lucky that Gyro actually installed a -8 credit card. Like we scored a crypto crash. Let's go one more time. I mean, can't ask for better. Literally cannot ask for a better top deck. Emily, how's it going? How's your week been? We just called that out. That's the only econ play that gets us out of this hole. Little one becomes a 1-coster. Flashbacks to fully loaded liberated. You install your twinning, you get 1 charge on turn 1. It's gone. I mean, that's not likely, but we don't mind. There's no Hermes. This generally does not matter. The last pin will like really cooks us. Yeah, absolutely load bearing regolith. Just absurd. Okay, classic Mystic. Nice, Gyro. Down to only going to be 3 credits next turn, but you do have the Mystic. Transfer will be bad. We could do a second ice on HQ. That means that we don't die to Boomerang Transfer. At this point, it should exist. Boomerang Transfer is really bad because the axis is pretty bad. We could take this down next turn, or we could take it down next turn. Sorry, we could work on it this turn. I think we don't want to discard a card, so I'm just going to do this. Not great against like Hermes if that comes down, but again, there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's only 4 agendas and 33 cards. So in R&D, I don't care about R&D anymore. I had a review and still got my job? I don't know what that means. Like a performance review? Still got my job. Congratulations. That sounds good. We haven't seen on an event horizon. Our remote server is like pretty good so far, right? Like that's the thing I'm noticing. Some of the Vic decks don't play mutual favor. They're just playing like 2 boomerangs and hoping that they find one of their like 2 breakers. But rushing out against Vic is not that difficult, particularly if you're like good in 2 boomerang, which usually op is. Okay, Econ's good. Another open market, a bit slow. Last click running R&D. I mean, there's only 2 agendas in R&D. No, there's 3 agendas in R&D now. That's absurd. Well, we're not on game point. Only 1 more Basalt Spire actually closes the game out. We probably could have got the Myoshu back, let's be honest. Chat, am I gaming? Yeah, that was 4 in 32. So what is that, 1 in 8? Okay, who needs ID text? I mean, it is how it is. So we could empty this and go get a 1-coster. We have no 1-cost ice in the deck, I don't think. You could set up the Tranquility for the next turn. Once we have enough money, we can push out. I think we technically do want to empty this. Because if we empty this... Wait, we can't Basalt kill here. If we had an Extract here, we don't win the game. He has 1 card too many, but like I think that's a big line here. So it's either we put Mitra and Till both on the table. I think that's a possibility. Mitra's actually not that important. It's a 3-credit econ card, so we could discard it. But we could put Mitra in server 1 and Till on the table. He'll probably have to trash this, which means he runs. We're getting to the point where like maybe double measure would end the game. If you have Extract, you win here. Yeah, you're right. Actually, if we had Extract, we win here. No, my math is bad because Gyro has 7 credits. Yeah. If we had a burst econ card, if we could get up to 10 credits here, we would have won the game. It has to be exactly an extract, which was not unlikely to get. So I think we just do this because next turn we can always do like regolith into measured. I do think we're not forcing him to do anything, so he probably will have more than 8 credits, especially because he's on 10, which is some reason why we put this on the table, I guess. But if he just installs breakers, we're in an okay spot. We also haven't fired op, I don't think. I think we could have fired op at least once with Azyef. We might fire it next turn. We could abandon the regolith, but it's unlikely. If we don't see breakers for a bit, you can always like snipe the breakers out of the hand, which kind of, when you're playing as criminal against, and you're generally not playing singletons in Vic, you do want to get your breakers on the table. I tabled 2 anthills the other day and found out they aren't unique. No, yeah, they're not unique at all. They're just kind of things working for you. And it's a click, a credit, and a card. Oh, 16 credits. Paladin, okay, that's bad for us. So a lot of companions there. That's some influence. We have to worry about, I think a lot of the Vic decks are playing, what's her called? What's her face? You know the one. Iru. So Iru is a real thing. There's a big chance that there's breakers in hand. We get empty the regolith and push. This is barrier. Mitra can become the Event Horizon. Event Horizon can come something else. So I think we're actually okay getting a 1-coster here. Shackleton. We can do Malapert. Oh my god, if we had Myoshu? No, we can't win. I think we'll do Malapert and we'll jam the agenda. If it's stolen, there's a chance we'll have lethal. But Malapert means we can't grab another agenda with Malapert. We also can't grab the Myoshu, which we threw out, but we could grab another measured maybe, because we could maybe triple measured. Oh no, then we'd have to score the agenda. That doesn't make any sense. Throwing out the Spin Doctor is weird. Actually, we should throw out the Event Horizon because we can grab it with the Mitra. I forgot. Yeah, you can Mitra from the bin. I don't know if we're going to trash with this. Yeah, we might just trash the Malapert after. No, we have to do it before it fires, so we might just get a Spin Doctor. So we had slightly more money. We could do triple Azyef. Okay, Hermes is not that bad. So 14 credits. So it's not amazing. So we do measured, pay 8, take 5. That's not good enough. So if we could do Azyef scored into measured, which we can do, that's 6 + 5 + 5. No, we're short of credit to do that. I think we still do it. Yeah, we're 1 credit short of the kill here. Because Azyef into measured is 8. That's a lot of damage, but we're 1 credit short. Yeah. Yeah, I realized that. I think we still do it. We can score the Azyef. We can Malapert for a Tucana. We're probably going to hit breakers. Whatever's bounced, we can repair. If you got a Trank, you would have won. Would we? No, I don't think so. Because Trank wouldn't have fired. Why would we have won? Oh, because Op doesn't need the Trank trigger? If we installed an Trank and then put the Op in the remote server? I didn't realize that worked like that. Because when you Op, you don't fire the Trank. Huh? Azyef into Tucana? Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. You Azyef to go get the upgrade. Yeah, I think we're just going to fire this anyways. So we have to trash something. Mask Broker seems to be doing good. The Descent is like doing some work. Honestly, it's probably the Mitra, but then we don't get anything. I think we probably just trash the Malapert. I don't think we need anything. Install something in the server with Azyef this turn. Yeah, we'd have to do it off of the Azyef score. I think I'm just trashing the Malapert for a spin dock. Oh, we're going to have so many cards in hand, though. But at least we'll have a Spin Doctor on the table. All right, so we hit a Chesva and a transfer. Okay. No breaker. Yeah, we just needed 1 more credit here, so that could have been a lethal. Because if we rezzed and installed, we would have got 2. Yeah, that's really cool. All right, so Mitra's on the table, so Mitra can come in Event Horizon cheaper. We can jam the next Azyef, which, yeah, this being a Tranquility would have been pretty clutch. Gyro needs to drop a bit, but that can't be that hard. Most runs are positive. So we can install the EZF, put a piece of ice. We're getting low on credits though. These scores are a bit expensive. At this point, we're now committing to not playing Myoshu because we have no more, 1-pointers. So Myoshu doesn't do anything here unless we could score a 2-pointer to Myoshu in theory. So if we kept the Malapert, we could have had money. We could have got to 6 points this turn. We actually could have got to 6 points this turn if we wanted to. Not that that's worth doing if you're bankrupt. So like maybe we extract the Spin Doctor, put an ice. No, I think we just double install. Because Gyro has to run this. Mitra beats Boomerang really well. I think we just do Sandstone as Yef and see what happens. We definitely want a bit more money here. Extract into double measured is pretty good. We need the Event Horizon, but we could get the Event Horizon with Mitra from the bin. I think that's fine. I think that's probably fine. Maybe a second extract is greedy. Hey, Mitsuni, how's it going? Forgot to change name off Alexandra last time I swung by. I'm going to try and catch these more regularly. Welcome. Maybe you're new around here, but welcome to the stream. Hopefully you've been enjoying some stream stuff. We've been keeping our Thursday schedule. It's been good. How's it been so far? This is like our turn 7 or something. It's our first game of the night, and this is the Decklist of the week. I've had one game with it so far. It's interesting for sure. We've flooded up relatively hard. We were 1 credit short of lethal. We could have got lethal if we played more aggressively. I think getting the Tranquility made more sense because I don't even know what we're going to get with the SEF. Yeah, we could have lethal last turn. So Dreaming into Classic is like a really fun experience when you make a run, and you have to do this before you access, which is going to be such a messed up, like such a commonly missed trigger. But the fact that you can look at 2 cards and then either keep the bad one if you think you're going to take damage or keep the good one if you're good. We'll see how that lines out. We are unfortunately financially ruined, but it looks like Gyro doesn't have breakers or we missed them there off the 2 and 5. I've been around since RWR. I think you've taught me click value with Vig. Oh, heck yeah. Hey, Chili, how's it going? It's been so long since I watched Netrunner content. Glad to see someone still being playing the best card game ever graded. It's a good one, that's for sure. Welcome back. There's a lot of folks playing Netrunner right now because of the new set. It's been really exciting. Gyro's thinking it's probably 2 breakers, right? I'm assuming this has to be 2 breakers. We're at this point not even playing around like a bounce here, because in terms of agendas in the deck, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's only 3 in 24, so it's a 1 in 8 chance that something gets sniped here on a single. It's not that one. Been having a ton of fun tinkering with Bangoon and GameNet. Absolutely in love with Makoto and Geek Grid. So much fun. So much fun math. I think I've only played Makoto in a deck once, and I think I've only rezzed it once. The card has to be better than the amount of play it sees. And I think it might be like secretly a good card for certain decks that aren't playing it. Reckon you build a new deck tonight? No, for sure we're going to build a new one. This Spin Doctor could shuffle back Spin Doctor and Myoshu. I think we will. He's already made a successful run. It's 2 real credits, bringing him down to 14, which is not a huge breakpoint. Actually, no, it is a bit of a breakpoint. But we have a money issue. So I'll put the Spin Doctor back. It probably will get trashed. Event Horizon, we have to legally keep in the bin, which is kind of funny. So putting Myoshu back in actually could matter, as much as the Malapert is out, but that is a win con. Do we win next turn? Shuffle Malapert, shuffle Myoshu, Azef Descent, extract Myoshu? No shot we have. Wait, what? Azef Descent. Oh my god, wait, are you for real? Wait, that works? Oh my god, wait, Myoshu's... Please. Wait, I didn't even consider that. So we score the Azef. We trash the Descent. It fires the thing. That's absolutely messed up. Extract Myoshu is wild. I don't think I realized how aggressive you can be with this list. What? Okay, so we score the Azef. It costs us 4. Then we have to have 10 more credits. So we go down to 4. We extract to 10. It's perfect. It's literally click credit perfect. That's such nonsense. This is going to give you neuron activation. We got to get you on the New Bang Rush train. Yeah, this seems so much cooler than New Bang Rush, though. Just a bit short on money, yeah. Wait a second. This is a board state we should be rushing out. That seems really good. 8 credit, 4-point win. Yeah. Yeah. The agenda goes from 8 credits to 4 points is absurd. It's only on 2. Yeah, that's nonsense. Straight nonsense. Now, this is one of the weird downside spots of like, what's it called? Okay, random access. No Hermes. No Hermes. Good. I guess he can go one more. We don't have to res anything. We have to hope for no Hermes. If it's no Hermes, we win. Unless we draw the Malapert. There's a 1 in 25 chance we draw the Malapert. No. Okay, good game. That is so silly. Aziev? Search? Myoshu? Wait, this is nonsense. Yeah. I was like, there's no shot we need this. Yeah, me neither. What the heck? I suddenly have a lot of respect for some of these lines. Extract anything. Myoshu, good game. Hey, GG. Holy crap. What the heck? Yeah, that's kind of wild. So for what it's worth, that agenda wasn't in it was in the remote server and it wasn't run. So we had enough money to make it a 5-3. Like that seemed absurd. But for what it's worth, like a 5-3 on that board state still wins the game. But it's nice to have that pocket, like that pocket play for sure. Yeah, exactly. Perfect. Kind of wild. I was holding so many agendas. Yeah, I was 1 credit short 2 turns ago for the flatline. Needed to grab the Trank, not the Malapert. I Kurun ship in hand, but I figured you had sentries everywhere. Nah. No sentries. Yeah, that's a problem too. It's like some folks are, and legitimately so, are scared to install their barrier breaker and the decoder because they run into the Stavka, the game's over. But that's why you do this. Myoshu was my early call for first ban. I don't think it's necessarily, but true, it's wild. I would say out of any card from the set, it is the card that I could see being the most likely to be banned. Because if it's good, the game's not bad. The game's bad. Hey, GG. What gets really absurd is doing its second score after first scored Basalt, giving you access to Infinite Seamless. Yeah. Like in Nuvang, right? Step 1 score of Basalt in Nuvang is just messed up, that's for sure. Okay, let's run that back. That was fast. Yeah, thanks for the line. I don't think I would have seen that at all. I was definitely tunneling on the kill. We need to keep a more open mind there, but that is just goofy. I could see DreamNet being banned again. I don't think I could. Okay, maybe? They won't ban Vic. They'd sooner ban Dreammate. Cephalopod, how's your weekend? Hey, best of luck. Have fun. Yeah, Extract's pretty good, Gyro. Good game. I don't like this hand. I don't like this hand. Let them dream Myoshu risks 1 point but threatens 4. Yeah. Yeah, it's nonsense. Yeah, just let them dream in the remote server. Like, you have to run it or you lose. Okay, I don't love this play. Event Horizon's really quite bad as a face check if they have no breaker. They can pay 3 though, and you can go get a barrier, which is nice. So there's many ways this gets punished. Let's see. I don't know our opponent well, so we'll see if they like aggressively run into this, which Gyro did. It was a Maskarovka, which is the worst punish. But if it's an Event Horizon, we have to pay 4 just to get a barrier. Event Horizon for HQ isn't bad. It isn't. I want to hear though. I want to push behind it because otherwise I can't do Stavka remote. But yeah, Event Horizon's like just good on HQ, but we have other ways to stop transfers, right? All right, we didn't get pinholed. That's good. It's very similar opening, except open DreamNet, which is good. We get away with it. Dreamer just a Vig what Banhart was to Ryu. I'm not sure they should keep printing IDs that basically require a specific card to work. I don't disagree with you. I do think you can, like, this is the frustrating thing is like Vic's text doesn't matter outside of DreamNet on most board states unless the matchup calls for it. And there's a chance like Vic is not even the best red crim in the format. All right, let's go figure out how to ice up R&D here. This is also like I value like small, cheap ice, like the flywheel for R&D just to keep them out. We see more ice or nice upgrades. Yeah, we're definitely going to draw here for options. We don't have them. We can do a Holloman to above the law for the next turn. This might get challenged here. I think we just click for a credit. Boomerang into transfer is like still pretty bad. We don't res this into boomerang usually. We just extract this, but not much we can do here. Actually, what we could do is overdraw and discard a card. There's no Hermes yet, but like I think we should draw once. So we draw not an agenda, but we'll just fix our ordering there. If we throw this out, they run archives. They might because of DreamNet. So then we use a pretty bad, like that's bad too. Maybe we should have just double drawn. I don't know. I don't think we care if this gets stolen. I think DreamNet could get banned in a future set with more tag me cards for Vic. Yeah, I could see that. I see if Vic gets more Vic support, I could see taking away DreamNet. All right. Yeah, very awkward draw there. Literally anything else would be good. They're considering it. Looks like a trashable. This Antil going off is huge because we can get a 2-cost ice for the remote server and then just score the above the law or fast advance it. They trashed a flagship for 4, so it's already done much work. And now the spin doctor is an ass, which is good. Chesva Pinhole. Seen this play before. They're running archives. This could 2-for-1 the spin doctor. Do we respect that? No. There's no shot they hit the spin doctor here. Even if they do, we're not upset. The Antil is so much more important. Because now we can spin doctor back the Antil. Sometimes you just gotta be brave, right? They didn't even have a click left to punish us, which is good. We could have drawn a descent. Okay, have you seen these play lines before? Yeah, this is exactly the same, like the opening for the last game, where we now transition to a regolith. I don't think we're going to shoot any of these down. If we get an ZF, we might push for it. We are bleeding accesses on R&D, which I do think we want to stop DreamNet because it's a card and a credit and an actual access, which is pretty good. So I think we're going to put this on R&D. Our credits are a bit short, so I could see us doing install credit. Otherwise, we could have drawn once here, but I think we're okay with this. After on R&D is like not perfect, but it's fine. We just don't want to overextend resing our eyes. Are we thinking about it to make them kill the spin? Yeah. If they did it, we'd be happy. We'd get 4 credits a card draw and a 3-cost ice. 2-cost ice. It's really good for us. Let alone we could go get the descent and then just use the descent immediately. I'll put this. I actually think we put the flagship back because we haven't seen a transfer yet. They'll DreamNet archives? Yeah, for sure. But at least they're not touching real cards. We do want our second ice here for sure. We don't need it. We have this. Let's see what this garbage does. Ooh, it's so intimidating. We grab our Tenma line? No, we're going to grab our Azam. They printed this card for you, London. You can rush out above the law. Did they have a daily cast on 8? They did. Yeah, well, we'd have to trash a regolith, so I probably wasn't going to. You can't move Holloman to a new server, so I guess we'll get the trade. But yeah, we could have done the 8 credit thing. It just cost us oh, hold on. Threw out the buzzsaw. So either they have their shibboleth in hand or they are going to praxis us. The card's about as good as Tenma. I mean, I don't disagree with you. No, it's definitely better. It's definitely much better. We could do it. They lose 8 credits. We lose 9 credits. I don't think we do it anymore. I think we just do 3 and we go get an ice for our archives. We're like pretty safe to transfer now. We don't have ice for archives, right? Because we have Shackleton. Fine. Program recursion doesn't happen till threat. Yeah, so they definitely are sitting on the decoder. I would not throw out extra breakers against this sort of list. Because if they just stop gaff ruin you don't know what they're up to. Zato, City Grid, you can lose your decoder, you're kind of cooked. Maybe this means they're on Praxis, maybe it's not. It's really hard to tell the Vic's are on. Usually just like value pieces. Notice how they drew here, so that might mean that they have a run event, because you could always just run archives, get a card and a credit. All right, Boomerang into transfer, so the Shackleton is not going to do anything. We don't res this, we just deaden the Boomerang, I think. We actually could res this to trash the Shackleton to go get a Spin Doctor, which is like kind of a fun angle. Like you can just use this. But the Shackleton, if we res it, they can't trash it with Chesva. So we probably do just res it, because that's kind of mean. They have to trash it with credits, which is like the biggest disappointment here. If they hit the above the law, we're in an unfortunate spot. But we could, in theory, like Stavka for the Shackleton just to draw 2. With a spin. If we res this, I think we actually do have to res this, though. I think we're just going to do it. This doesn't do anything. We could put it in server 1. Yeah, why not? Well, because then we can't push in the remote server. It gives us a card draw or 2 credits. We can't push in the remote server, though. And I think we want to push the remote server. I'm going to do a new server. Still have to boomerang it so they keep their Chesva. That makes sense. Mitra on Trank. I could see Mitra on Trank being good. Especially because if we're going to fast advance here, we're going to want to not dump our hand. So it looks like we're not going to fast advance here. We'll just put Mavirus in server 1. Fire Trank. I could see Mitra on Trank being good, but we didn't actually have any Mitra targets. It's just +2 credits. Yeah, so did they throw out another Let Them Dream yet? Or sorry, DreamNet? Let Them DreamNet? No. Yeah, it's scary when they draw because it means that they're going to run for sure. We obviously have a soft HQ here. Cool thing is Mavirus can become a flagship, which is a nice little surprise. So we'll put Mavirus in the remote server, Malapert in the remote server. Event Horizon on its own might be good enough. I actually don't know. There's one boomerang back in the deck. I think do you spin Trank and just RFG it early? I don't love doing it early, but I could see it. Flagship is 3? Oh, you're right. Flagship is 3. I haven't played with the card yet. I assumed it was 2, but no, just like Crazy made it is 3. Okay, bummer. So we can't just grab it. They threw it a twinning. What's going on? They threw up twinning and Buzzsaw. Huh? What's RFG? Remove from game. Usually. Why did they throw it a DreamNet? Instant summon flagship would be messed up. Yeah, I guess there's no way to easily do that besides Event Horizon. So this we can get an ice. So if they install a boomerang, we can get a code gate or we can get a barrier. Gain 2. No Hermes, no whammies. They in theory could just send it to their Stavka and throw out their Chesva if they wanted to. There should be points in HQ here. Yeah, we're going to off-turn summon a Kessel Raid. We'll see if they install the wrong breaker, what we'll grab. Oh, they're on Praxis, but this doesn't do anything. Are they? This is what I don't get. Like, Praxis, it's cool that it fires the DreamNet, but throwing out the twinning just to bring the twinning back and then clear the tag doesn't feel good. Like, this just feels like spending pieces for nothing. Right? Like, is that good? You spend a card and 2 influence to run archives. That's cool that it fires DreamNet, but it shouldn't be hard to fire DreamNet regardless. Then this gets installed for 1. Then you have to clear a tag for 1. I don't get it. I don't fully get it. It doesn't make that much sense. Let Them DreamNet sounds like an NBN agenda similar to EOI. Oh, hold on, actually. This is awkward because we have to do this before they run. When they install Revolver, we have to respond. Sorry. I might have used the window after you install Revolver. Thank you. Because I think we just go here. We go grab a... I don't want to get the barrier. I think I'm going to get the Descent. It's more flexible. And we know they threw out a Buzzsaw. Actually, that's the reason why we shouldn't grab this. But cheap barriers mean they can farm Kurapura. So let's just try this. Hey, Norpal, how's it going? Yeah, it would be okay. It's not the end of the world. But if they have 1 click left and we can protect the Basalt, I'm going to protect the Basalt. Hermes is good here. At least they only open up R&D. Okay, so... if we want to score out Hollow and Basalt, it's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We go down to 4. Transfer, we go down to this, goes into hand. We go down to 3. It's perfectly eats a transfer in a very, very bad way. So scoring the Basalt, though, gives us back very good cards on average. We're going to get transferred sooner than later. Do we ever just like... we go to 3 from Hollow? Yeah, we go to 3 from Hollow, which is not great for transfer line. They're now going to run in charge of this stuff, which is pretty bad. They should sweep HQ here. I wonder if we just give up on the Basalt and like push something else. I don't think. Yeah, I don't think so. I think we're just going to do it because it's like obviously a really good card to have. And this allows us to discard an agenda, which is good. Oh, we're going to discard all these agendas if we want to. So we'll score. We can search. I kind of want Mitra here because it's a 5 credit res. I think we want Mitra. Another Regolith is good, but we have them with the Basalt. So I think we just go for Mitra. That seems so silly, but I think we do go for Mitra. This is where you need more reps of the deck. Hermes will bounce unice. Might be the ice on the remote server. I could see that. This is a good turn to flesh this out if you can beat a Descent. And I think we know he has a Code Gate in hand. Oh, Extract is a better call. Yeah, Extract is way better, Cold Lava. You're right. That's our big econ card comeback. That's way, way better. Okay, yeah, and I do think this could have been the barrier because we're pretty sure Kalinjar has the barrier in hand, or the decoder if they threw out the buzzsaw. So that probably was a bad read, as much as we're trying to play around Kurapir, which probably isn't it. So I'm not going to score this. We're not going to use this. We'll try that. Yeah, extract is so much better because we can extract the Malapert, get the Mitra, and then just go up to 6. Yeah. This is very, very bad. Oh, that's very, very good. Yeah, big mistake. This could have been a barrier. So now we're going to lose everything. The Malapert probably stays. Actually, the Tranquility probably stays. The Descent is a liability. It's broken for free, so not exactly a liability, but you have to take the Trank down here for sure. Yeah. This you don't have to, but with Extract, we'd be back in the game. Notably, we can always Basalt back some stuff. Cool. We can't res. We're not going to spin Doctor. Yeah, we can always pull this back. Eventually it'll be better because Shibboleth will actually be... Oh no, it'll never be better. Never mind. So they didn't use twinning. So we just see the Maskarovka. I mean, that's okay. Now we have some real pressure on the remote server. Cool thing is if we do Mitra above the law of Maskarovka, we go down to 1. This is our only ice though. So we'd have to put Event Horizon. If we do Mitra above the law Event Horizon, and if they run the server, we flip it for the Maskarovka, res the Maskarovka. That loses to Boomerang pretty hard, but he has 1 card in hand. Technically, you died as Yef Slash and Burn here if you want to play around that. I don't think they have to. We can rig shoot the Shib. Descent is just liability. It's not a liability, just like they need to break it for 1, so they need to have money. But they have like probably 3 practices, maybe 1, maybe 2. But up to 3, obviously. Thinking. Mavirus could survive the remote server. They know that we're on Mitra. That could become a Regolith if we shuffle that back in. That's an option. I could see that being our way back. So we could do Mavirus Mitra maybe. I think we don't want to forget EH like that. Forgo. Take it a little slower. Maybe we just do Mitra Mavirus above the law. If they run the server, we can make it an Event Horizon. Event Horizon can become a barrier. If we click for credit, we can duck the Mav too, which is nice. So we can do credit, Mav, Mitra. I don't mind that. Yeah, we get a Rego. If they run it, we can make this into something we want. Always if they run this last click too, you can have Virus just to make a Regolith in server 4 and just say like, okay, it's there now. But I'm scared about this twinning because it's hard for us to push because we have to usually make never advance plays. And the twinning will only get bigger. We have to shut down this twinning. In theory, if we have enough money, we can just like spin Doctor the Mav for Holoman and then score out, but we need 7 credits to threaten the fast advance. Which doesn't seem likely. We can also just Basalt for a Regolith. Oh my god, I forgot they could do this. Wait a second. Wait, why did we think this was... Oh yeah, no, this is fine. So we'll do... This is actually really good. So we'll do Mitra, continue, swap Mitra for Mask, no, this, res, fire. Yeah, this is good. We actually went up credits there. That's sick. There's a second praxis. We're on threat, so they can bring some stuff back. They can't choose not to touch this, so it doesn't like threaten cards in archives. I think they're on 3 praxises, considering how they're throwing out breakers. So now they actually can bring a program back, which doesn't actually matter. They could get a Cheswa back. I mean, it's free. But here they're just getting a daily cast back. I can't tell if this is good or not. It doesn't feel good. No, please. Yeah, they just need a boost for sure. We also haven't opt yet. But like, this is probably not as good as getting a class act back or even just like drawing a card because they don't need money. They need card draw. So I don't know if we care about this. So on their turn, we have to get a Regolith back. Actually, do we? If we want to score out fast advance, we have to install 6-7. Yeah, we can't do it. Yeah, I think we have to do this. I could use those credits for the installs. Yeah, that's sick too. Yeah, that's cute too. Yeah, I guess with the Cheswas, it does make the practice a lot better. That's a cool angle. So we can't leave this in the bin because Dreamnote will fire and then we just get Hermes. So we have to do this, which sucks because now the Holoman's in the bin. Like maybe we should have done this and we should have just basalt for a regolith. That's a good reason to have money, huh? Okay, so we can ice up archives to some extent. This Afshar is not going to hold. They do break it for 1 credit. We can get hollow with basalt. Yeah, but I want to get with Optrix, which is not like what we're doing. There's 2 more transfer coming up, so we probably have to put something on HQ. It's probably the Event Horizon on HQ, I guess. Oh yeah, we could save basalt for LTD. I like that a bit better, yeah. I think we just do this. We might lose the regolith. I don't know if we got enough from it. I don't think we did. They break for 2 Chesva and 1 real. Oh yeah, they break for entirely free. Yeah, I was gonna say they break for 1, but that's actually not a real one. So they make Chesva into real money. I want to play Tungsten Tailor in Vic because I haven't, and I honestly could see why it's really good with double Chesva. There is enough ice in the format that it just fires, and a lot of the criminal breakers have awkward break points. Let alone if you want to play like Buzzsaw. I do think this card's like way better than it might look immediately. Second icing HQ is also pretty rough when they run R&D. Purge. That being said, if they ever go a bit too aggressive and they steal an agenda here, I guess it's hard for them to get on threat 3 or threat 4. We can just regulate. Yeah, this is what they need. They need a card draw, not the second daily cast. All right, Kessleroid, also a liability, but they don't have a Fractor yet. We can hit this and get a 1-coster to go get a... I honestly don't think we have any more 1-costers in our deck because our Shackleton is here and our Malapert is here. Just like getting a Tithe on Archives would be so good. I think we just get the money, do nothing. This doesn't fire. Triple click for Trank? What Trank? Oh no. Yeah, we have no 1-costers. Yeah, we lost all the 1-costers. But a Tithe on Archives there would actually be really high value. Revolver cannot sustainably break it. As much as like eventually Tungsten Tailor makes it a downside, which is fun. Once they find their Carmen or Echelon or whatever they're playing. Issues we can't push to the remote server anymore because as soon as they run R&D in C3 with twinning, like there will Hermes bounce. Like we are cooked. Oh, we can't win off of this because they can always be double measured with 13 credits. They're gonna discard a lot of cards here. Yo, that's good. They're discarding 5 cards? Like, do we respect the next Praxis? 5 cards. That was a whiff. We can push the above the law safely. Can they be triple measured? Oh my god, you're right. They can't. No, they can't. You're right. I forget we got triple measured. I really do not like Basalt's Fire measured. So 1 they pay, 1 goes. Did we just win? Why is this math not intuitive to me? Measure response, they pay. Measure response, they don't. Yeah, we just win. Never mind, they're not on threat. I forgot about that part of the text. That seems important. No, we can't. We can't play it. I think we just click for 2. I don't even think we ice this. There's no reason to ice this. Well, in theory, we could trash the Malapert to get a Spin Doctor. I did the same with the AMT, but after basalting for the measured. No, you need the little orange glowing box when you play in person. You can buy that, I'm pretty sure. All right, so they've run. If we score the above the law, we just trash twinning. Or probably Iru, actually. Hard to tell. Stop remote, yeah, it's better than nothing, especially because when you can fire, you can trash the Malapert, get a spin. You can even trash the agenda if you need to. Yeah. I just got bodied unbelievably hard by editorial. Floated 3 tags because I meant leaving them on 0 credits, but they got me with bigger picture of Ultra Fund, tutored end of line. Ooh, I've never seen someone tutor for it, but that seems like a very quite possible. All right. So we have to res this legally, right? That puts us down to 12. We no longer have triple measured. The Event Horizon becomes a 3-coster. I don't know what 3-coster we could get here that's good. Probably a Maskarovka. It forces the Boomerang to not come back, and then they break the Stavka for 2 bullets. Could it pre-dance for a Myoshu line? Oh my god. Why am I not thinking about this stuff? Am I bad? Okay, I wouldn't have worked, but yeah, that's good. Okay. Wait, what? Oh, they boomeranged it, yeah. So we have to fire this. So we have Flagship, Maskarovka, Sandstone. I think it's just this Maskarovka on HQ, right? Sandstone's pretty annoying, but eventually it becomes Tungsten Fodder. Flagship just like stops these runs from being successful, but we need to actually keep him out because we need to keep our measures. There's the Carmen. Okay, so doesn't have a Fractor with 13 cards left. After, I think, was that an option and we didn't choose it? Because if that's the case, yeah, we're really, really not smart if that's what we did. I think we just trashed the Twinning Hero. Probably be practiced back, but at least it buys us a window. We always have Extract into double measured. We have to do this to get us on threat, I think. Oh, Malapert. Extract. Nice. Hermes, I didn't care about that. It's fine. We'll throw out 2 Kessleroids. We know the top 2 of R&D are safe, and you can't see more than 2 anyways. Yeah, we definitely should have got an Afshar there, of course. Of course we should have. Oh, man. So the Queer Peers are somewhere. You're worried about some sort of slash and burn fast advance, I guess. But we can threaten double measured here. I mean, we don't have a deck left. Yeah, Mask is fine. We know the Fractor is going to show up, but the Afshar would be better for the long term. Wait, what are we meant to do here? We know the next card on R&D is not an agenda, but then we break lock. Icing up Archives is a bit silly against double Chesva, but we just have to not lose all in a single turn. Yeah, do we just like install an ice, extract it, click for a credit, and say go? Extract for spin? Yeah, that's way better. I mean, okay, we did shuffle. So I think we just do server 1. We can pre-advance from Myoshu threat. If this doesn't get run, we win. If it, oh, well, we don't need Myoshu threat. Shut up, idiot. Now you're trying to be smart. It's 10 o'clock and now you're trying to be smart by pre-advancing this from Myoshu threat. You are just a winner. I think we put this don't pre-advance. Yeah, no, I figured it out. I think we just put this on our R&D, or we probably just like extract the Spin Doctor and not care. Right? Because it puts us up to like, because then next turn, no matter what, we can threaten triple Basalt, even if we res this. Like, I think we just extract the Spin Doctor. Oh, it makes the density higher. This brings us to 18. If we res this, we go down to 14. We want to do triple measured. Possible Basalt for defensive upgrade or barrier remote. I just want to have money. Yeah, 9-point BM play. So clever. I was undercooking and now I have to really cook. Even Kessleroid. I don't think Kessleroid's going to move it too much. Ice R&D to look normal. It doesn't really matter to Iru though, but I do think we Ice R&D to be normal. I just don't think into Iru it actually does matter. Extract Stavka. Yeah, extract Stavka on HQ is probably the right line and just say we don't have it in HQ, which is okay. If this agenda gets stolen no matter what, we probably win. So I could see extracting Stavka being correct. There it is. Wake? We're going HQ here, huh? Oh, we can trash the measureds. That's bad for us. Actually, no, we have Basalt. We're fine. Triple advance and let it cook Francie. Now you're talking my language. We keep them out of the remote this turn. No, we want a triple measured. Why would we keep him out of the remote? Well, he can have the remote. It's fine. What we need to keep him out of is well, we need to keep him in the grave. Trash Leech to Wake. Okay, 4 cards, 4 credits. You want to draw a card and gain a credit. 1 credit short. Oof. Of what? No. 1 card for sure for what? Losing the damage is a bit hard to undo. You can click for credit though. Yeah, it's hard to do the undo on the Wake install, right? Huh? But how do you break the mask? Sure. I don't. Yeah, do it. I'm not sure what this means. I just don't understand how you can not undo the wake and not have it be an issue. Like, how do they transfer? They do boomerang transfer? If they do boomerang transfer, we should have extracted the Stavka. But if they do boomerang transfer and they don't hit the Izef, we win. Yeah, that's the issue. Sorry. Yeah, that was the thing. They wanted to keep the Kurapira in hand, but there's a chance the Kurapira got hit by the wake. They wanted to do the wake, then install the Kurapira, but I don't know how. Yeah, they can't guarantee to lose this thing. Bravado to the Afshar, we're just going to keep 15 credits. This is a single. Oops. Oh, no. Wow. Wait, can they run HQ and we can lose? Can they run HQ and we lose here? No shot. No, they can't. They can't see 2 cards. This is guaranteed GG, I think. Yeah, 3 cards in hand. This is guaranteed. Iro can see 2? Yes, but not the cards in hand. Yeah, this is a good game. There's nothing we have to do here. We don't even have to be cute about it. I don't know if I like this card. Hey, GG. All right. We got there. Didn't do anything too cute. Just played, solid Netrunner. Vix text fired, I think, once. Op fired a couple more times than that, but not much more. But yeah. Hey, cheers. Yeah, they weren't playing around that. They weren't expecting that. And I get it. You don't see any measures all game. You kind of forget it's there. I think they saw the Myoshu. I'm not sure if they saw the Myoshu. Maybe that's what you're playing around. Yeah, they did. It was face up. So maybe that's why you have to play around. But like that Hermes bounce on the turn right before you're going to lose the remote server is like super, super clutch Netrunner. Unfortunately, we have a extra win con, which is really quite good. Who is Vic? You mean DreamNet? Yeah, DreamNet. DreamNet fired a couple times though. Vic just doesn't fire. I don't know if the tag cards that came in the set were good enough to make Vic actually want to use Vic's text box, which is unfortunate. I think we'd be happier if Vic did. Hey. All right, cool. Cool list. Obviously, you can make some pretty important changes. I think it's awesome that we have nice folks in chat who have known this deck and can play it a bit better on the basis that like the lines, if you don't see the lines, I don't think you see what the ceiling on this is, because the ceiling on this is actually relatively high, right? Like we had those sudden Myoshu plays out of nowhere. We are 1 credit short of doing that like perfect go from 2 points to 4 points lethal when you can do score out an Azef double measured, right? Like you can suddenly do 10 damage to the runner if they don't see it coming, which is pretty damn good. So do watch out for that. Jeff, how's it going? Congrats as well. Jeff had a really good weekend this weekend. I don't think he was expecting to do as well as he did, which is always good to see. Playing some op, I'm assuming playing some Hype Machine op, which I'd be interested to hear your thoughts, Jeff, because I've been trying Hype Machine op, and Hype Machine hasn't been the star of that deck, unfortunately, as good as it is. Who's missing? City, how's it going? How you doing? All right, we got some news, and then we're gonna do some story time to talk about. We went to a CTK this week. Which was pretty cool. And I'll tell you the story. It's been a while since I've actually like prepared for an event, which was a really nice event. First, I'm just gonna run through some basic rule stuff, or sorry, news stuff at the top. How's it going, by the way, QA? Firstly, Null Signal Games has put this out. Volunteers needed for the Null Signal Games 2026 World Championship here in my hometown of Montreal. They're looking for a whole bunch of different roles if you want to apply. I volunteered for Worlds now for like 5 years in a row. I don't even know what it is at this point, but I've always been a volunteer, helping out either streaming and doing commentary usually. It's a really satisfying thing to do. It like takes an absolute village. If you're interested in volunteering only for 1 day just to see what it is like behind the scenes, I can't recommend it enough. It is really damn cool. I haven't read this article yet, but just so you know, like there is compensation. It's a per DM to cover food and stuff like that, which is nice. That is something that is relatively new. Like it's been around for, I want to say 3 or 4 years. Maybe Jeff would know a bit better, but it's nice. It does make more sense for a lot. But yeah, this is cool. If you don't think you're qualified to do this, still reach out. There's some like very simple, basic stuff that you always need people to get done. So if you want to put on that like bright blue shirt and help make a really cool thing happen, this is where you can reach out. So please do that for sure. I did well with Op, but I immediately cut the hype machines. Yeah, I think I played a lot of Op on Friday, and immediately I was like, wait, these hype machines are not actually doing it for sure, which is kind of funny. All right, next up, this is this weekend. It starts as soon as tomorrow. You don't know the 2026 Apex Showdown. This is by Man of the Moon. Man of the Moon runs amazing tournaments, and this is the first tournament Man of the Moon is running that is properly time zoned for APAC players. I believe it starts Friday night, so tomorrow night for me on the East Coast. And the prize support's fantastic. Really, really good stuff. This art here has to be Kira, right? I'm pretty sure this is Kira's art. And this does look like some sort of open market in Southeast Asia, I'm assuming. Maybe this is a new card. I don't know what this is. I don't think we see what this card is here, but we do see some other amazing prize support that's coming out here. So these are some of the unofficial prizes. Again, if you're not running a Null Citadel Games tournament, you can do as much prize support as you want. This is a ping for Man of the Moon. That's pretty sick. Man of the Moon does this thing too, where often we'll use like open license art to make alt arts. This looks like an original, which is pretty sick. It's poetry. Whoa. Wait, really wild. This looks like an LSR Ellie. It is a Fuji Acid Retrieval. It's a nice 5/3. This is definitely a Dr. Nuka with that same sort of sweater pattern. Another Man of the Moon art. Illustration, sorry, is by Valvi. Did this one have an illustration credit too? This was actually Man of the Moon's illustration. Yeah, it was. Illustrated credit, Man of the Moon. That's sick. I have one of these. These are also Kira's, a Telework contract. I like these a heck of a lot. These are quite nice. This is an LSR, I'm assuming, a Magdalene. Yeah. Oh, no, sorry. Alexander Simonovich. Dragon Magdalene, Crypt Architect. Very cool. This has to be, of course, Hannah Wheels Plincha from Valvi. This is a Maskarovka by Lucius, I'm assuming. Yeah, by Lucius Felimus. And then this is the one that I only saw today for the first time. This is a slash and burn with your 2025 Ultimate Showdown champion, Augustus Caesar, with a flamethrower on it, which is awesome. It's funny that we have another flamethrower card probably since this was commissioned, but this is absolutely fantastic. This is from Matthias Kalza, who does Netrunner art, Neuroscape art. Very, very cool to see that. Some great prize support, and already no surprise, there's like 80 people registered. That is always the way that this goes. It's just a massive event. Oh, it's a Poetry Luxury Brands. Yeah, you can see it there, all the rage in the background. So it's going to be a massive event. I'm assuming it's going to be streamed. I don't know where. If someone wants to tell me after I'm live or right now, I'll add it to the description below. But they're massive events, and the Man of the Moon events are always really well organized. And very nicely too, they're very good tournaments if you're a newer player. They're open to everyone. They're not like invitationals or super competitive tournaments. Well, they are competitive tournaments, but they're structured in a way that like it's meant to be as, accessible as possible, which most Netrunner tournaments are. But to have that also on an online tournament with such big reach is phenomenal. So this is this upcoming just tomorrow night in like 24 hours. So hopefully you're having a good time. And for APAC players coming out, maybe West Coast players in this side of the ocean are also coming out too. But it's going to be a great event. I think people are really excited to see what the meta looks like and try out the new stuff, especially because there's a lot of surprises to be had. And I think people really value that part of the meta. This is very cool. Eternal Super League continues on. This week, we're on week 8, the penultimate week. Specifically, this 7, 8, and 9 are really exciting weeks because the players get to change their decks for the last part of it. I will be streaming on Sunday if you want to join. I'm joined by always great commentators. But if you want to watch some Eternal, it starts at 3 p.m. Eastern on Sunday. These are always a lot of fun. And we only have 2 weeks left to go. And the standings are pretty interesting. That's mostly it for news. I think I'm gonna do a quick story time to talk about just like my last weekend of Netrunner really quickly, and then we're gonna try and build a Melias deck. So last Saturday there was a casual tournament kit. Is ESL on the new ban list yet? I think. Oh, I haven't caught the last week yet. I think there's a chance, Cold Lava, that they're not on Vantage Point, unfortunately, but they are on the new ban list as of 7, 8, 9. It's the change for this last 3 weeks. So it's new decks and new ban list. Yeah, City is confirming new ban list, no new cards. Yeah, so new ban list, no Vantage Point. Okay, so last week on Saturday there was a CTK. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. This CTK was one of the best prize support kits I think Null Citadel Games has put out in a minute, especially for a CTK. This is just such a good kit. I know this kit was a long time coming. It technically still has a 2025 on it, so I've heard a bit about the cursed backstory of getting this to print. But it is clean getaway full art, which is amazing. A measured response alt art, which I don't understand what the art is in relationship to a car blowing up or something like that, but the art is genuinely good art. And then of course you have a Plutus playmat, which is just one of my favorite art from the set, one of my favorite cards from one of the last sets. So I wanted to do well here because I wanted to get a playmat. And going into this tournament, right, like it's a Vantage Point meta, it is worth noting as like a snapshot for my meta. I'm not sure who comes to the events or who not, but generally on average, folks in my meta, they play a lot of different things. There's usually a lot of like kill decks, so you are going to be a bit cautious. I was pretty sure I was going to run to Diogen, and Diogen for sure is going to play like some sort of unleashed kill combo. And so I wanted to go out of the way to make sure I took like some tag tech into that. I knew people were going to play Melias and play Glacier. It's one of the big things. We have a lot of like BTL Glacier and Melias Glacier and Jinteki Glacier players. A lot more people play that. There are some people that play like fast and loose PD, and I do think PD Assets was popular at the event. But going to the event, I was like locked in on what runner I wanted to play. I wanted to play Vic because of course I wanted to play Vic because we've been playing Vic on stream, and Vic has been just so dang good. The Vic that I played on stream during the stream week, I do think the influence on that should change. Like we were playing things like, what's it called? Valentina. And you definitely don't play Valentina in the deck. You literally clear like 1 or 2 tags. And I think I was playing Mystic Miami. I moved to Paladin Puemo. And then I'm spending all my influence on like really boring things. But this deck, I was so comfortable going into the tournament because I had barely lost a game. And in testing, I'd been running through some like teammates, practicing and like taking games off of great players, playing good archetypes. And I think just Vic was at a really good spot. I was so confident with Vic going into the event, but that led to the other side of the table, which is the corp side, which I was super not confident about anything. There was like 2 or 3 things that I wanted to try out. And so Friday night, I played a lot of JNet, and I don't remember playing this much JNet in a single evening. And it's also like really surprising because unfortunately, I play a whole bunch of JNet when I'm practicing for events on a Smurf, where I show up, I'm still pleasant and I'm still nice. But when you're on a Smurf, let alone when you're not on stream, I can play a JNet game in 12 minutes, no problem, because you're not talking. And then you're just kind of like sitting there and getting through it as quickly as possible. So you can play like in the evening, I played like 15 games of JNet, which is really fun. So I tried out a whole bunch of different things, and every deck that I played, it went okay. But I played like some core damage stuff. I played a whole bunch of fast events, you know, Zwicky the way that you think I would. I think I played some PD a bit. I played a whole bunch of like different things, and everything was like, didn't feel amazing. But I played, again, 15 different corp games. I played 1 runner game, and I was like, this Vic deck is cracked. And I played so many different corp games, and I just could not find anything that I felt really good with playing. Like nothing felt amazing. I don't know if that's the case if other people are feeling that. I don't think that should be the case right now. I don't know what the runner versus corp win rates are looking like at early tournaments. We can check after this, but I was just not feeling it. And then I found on Discord, in their Bears Discord, that there was this like really cool Epiphany deck that specifically Whiteblade, she was playing, and she was preparing to bring it that weekend as well to an event. And shout out to Whiteblade, she won the event playing this really cool Epiphany deck. And I saw this deck, and at this point, it's like now midnight. And I decided, F it, it's a CTK, you're there to have fun. Your Vic deck is going to win you all the games anyways. Just bring the weird deck and learn something about it. So I decided to sleeve up an Epiphany deck. I'm not going to be talking too much more about the Epiphany deck because I'm waiting for Whiteblade to publish the list. She won the NPC Seattle just this weekend, which was a big event. There's a lot of great players there, so congrats. I do believe the runner deck is posted, the Trojan.exe, which is like one of the good Arisana decks I'm expecting to exist in the meta. Arisana seems to be one of the best runners, and this is a really cool tuned list. No pinhole threading, no jokes about that. But yeah, the other side is Epiphany, and I'm going to wait for Whiteblade to publish that because it's a really cool list. I think I changed 1 or 2 cards, but I have never played competitive Epiphany, and Epiphany is really tricky because you have a bunch of timing triggers, and it's a totally different game plan that I'm not known to be an NBN Assets player, but I said, whatever, we're going to pick it up. It's not Flood the Market. It's just like regular Epiphany, like World type Epiphany, playing 3 Hollow Men and just saying like, I'm going to go. And the big new card that you have is Revanchulet. And let me tell you, Revanchulet is really good. Revanchulet is so damn good. So I sleeve this deck up. I fishbowl a couple opening hands, and I think like, okay, if I win half my games with this, I'll win every runner game. That should probably be good enough to get a playmat, and we're gonna go out. So I go to bed a bit later than I want to. The event starts. It's like walking distance from my house, and it starts at like 10:30. I get there barely just at 10:30, and I haven't played my corp deck, but my runner deck I'm locked in. Round 1, I get to play against AUCO. I'm playing against Wealthgeist, and this is the only AUCO at the table. And I haven't played AUCO since Vantage Point, so I don't know exactly what people are going to do with it. But I am just having a good opening. I have DreamNet. I open DreamNet. DreamNet's really good into AUCO because if you're checking things and basically making the assets cheaper to trash, but also getting card advantage, you're in a pretty good spot. At some point, I do a boomerang transfer into HQ, and Steven Rez's Sleipnir. And I think like, okay, that could be anything, right? Like you probably just replace your Sleipnirs. Maybe you want to replace your Scatterfields with your Sleipnirs, and maybe that's a good change. I don't 100% know. But we keep playing the game, and it's not looking great for Wildgeist. Wildgeist looks like he's flooded up, so I get some early points. Regenesis gets pushed out really early, and I find one, and then I kind of force Archives, and a Moonpool gets shuffled, and the game just kind of treads onwards. The thing that I'm worrying about my Vic list, and I think I can just show you the Vic list that I played, is that I don't have Mutual Favor in it. This is the Regist Vic that I was playing, and so like my influence is kind of what you expect. This is not different than what I played on stream. So we're on 3 Nukas, which might be one too many Nukas. Card draw is really good when you have DreamNet. I'm on the Iru. I'm on Mystic. Sorry, this one was not a Mystic. I actually did not play this list. This is the one that I played on stream. So I think the one that I actually end up playing, this is not this list. We made some changes here to make it make sense, right? So see if I can do this. So Leech makes sense. I'm only on 1 Chesva. I decided to play Shibboleth, and because Shibboleth is really bad in the late game, I'm playing a Buzzsaw. The idea here is with Leech. Leech is really nice because you run Centrals subsidized, and then the Leech counters do really well with your Buzzsaw. I think another thing that you can do is you can play Echelon instead of playing your Carmen, but I decided I'm just going to play Carmen because I'm running out of influence, and that's an option that we're doing. We're not playing Valentina. Instead of the Mystic, we're playing Paladin, which is just a bit smoother, and I think we're playing something like this, and I think we're actually only playing Dr. Nukas, so this is probably correct. And then I think I cut the Mutual Favor, and I play like 3 copies of Carpe Diem, which like makes less sense without the Mystic, but I'm pretty sure it's something exactly like this. Sun Control, I don't really like Sun Control. You need to play a lot of run events. I don't even think it's that good when you play that many run events. But I'm hoping that we just get enough Leech counters and play Buzzsaw, and then we play something like this. Oh, the other thing I played, and I don't know the slot is, oh yeah, I cut the Info Bounty, and just so I don't lose to at least some Unleashed cheese, I play 1 copy of No One Home. No One Home. What's it called? No Free Lunch. And I play 1 copy of this just as a 3-credit econ card, or at least a way to dodge a tag at instant speed, because I think that's going to matter. This is the deck that I played, I'm pretty sure. So anyways, the Ayuko deck, it's going okay. And then at some point, I get surprised by active policing. This was really cool on threat. Steven plays active policing and installs 2 cards on the table. And I only have 2 clicks now because we hit threat. And the idea is that he set up basically like a Regenesis play. With 2 clicks, it's hard for me to check archives. It's hard for me to run the remote server with the agenda in it. And it's hard for me to run the remote server with the Moonpool in it. And it's actually a really nice fork. I think he does end up scoring out on that turn, but he ends up scoring not anything I'm really scared about. He scores for Prior Negation, which I'm like, okay, weird. Is this like Ayuko Glacier? I can't tell exactly what this is. And the game keeps progressing. Time is coming up, and I'm doing a good enough spot, putting on enough pressure. I think the thing that is really noticeable that I'm feeling with my deck, and this is what I mentioned or tried to mention before when I opened up my deck list, I'm not very good at getting my breakers. I have 2 Boomerang, which really does help, but like if I need to find my Kurapira and I can't find my Kurapira, I can't find my Kurapira, and I'm actually really feeling that. I don't know what to do about that, whether I should just play more or less aggressively, or whether I should actually play 1 Mutual Favor and play fewer breakers and then play some Praxises, but I just can't find my breakers when I need them, and it's actually slowing me down. If I can't find my killer, I can't really face check safely because it could be, you know, as bad as a Sai Santan, which is not game losing, but it's pretty bad, but the game is relatively scrappy, and then we end up taking it from there. Then the tables flip. I get to play against Architect, who was the finalist at Canadian Nationals 2 years ago, a player who's recently come to Montreal. Is a really great player. I was really excited to play. And he's playing Vic, and I'm for the first time playing Epiphany. And oh my God, is Epiphany like the most fun? It is really cool. The pressure from Vic comes down, but the economy is like, you know, it's scrappy. It's not unlimited economy. And so the cards on the table start to really matter. I do think he does a good job of trying to keep me down and make sure he's not trashing 1 thing a turn and trashing multiple things. But then the bad thing happens where I get him with a crypto crash. And then as soon as you get them with a crypto crash, the game's in a really bad spot because then they're trying to recover. But if they're trying to recover, they can't deal with your assets. And if they can't deal with your assets and the Revanchulate sits around, like then it gets really, really quite bad. At some point, a Revanchulate gets trashed, and then you score an agenda and bring back the Revanchulate with the powers that be, and then you end up kind of in this really, really, really bad hole. Yeah, throw on top of it an Oppo Research, and the runner is just like in a very, very ugly spot, where if they're tagged, they can't run anything consistently or safely because of B1001. They can't clear the tags because they don't have the money, and then, of course, there's just threats out of everywhere, and they can't touch anything. Like, the fact that this protects all servers if the runner is poor is so important that you can make the runner poor. Revanchulate is just very, 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 very good. And I have a lot of respect for this card, and I don't know what you're meant to deal with it, how you're meant to deal with it, but you need to keep your money up because of this and because of Oppo, and doing both at the same time, if you can line up all the threats, has been really quite good. For the sake of the story, I think I'm not going to explain too many more of the games. Actually, no, game 3 is really, really important. I'm playing against Melias Paul, who you might know if you've been watching the channel, because Paul has been on stream before. He's joined me in the last studio. He's a great player. And he's playing, just like his namesake, Melias. And this is like Big Glacier. Oh, not this Melias. Yeah, that does happen, doesn't it? And right before the game starts, Paul talks about like, hey, I'm on Lotus Haze. And he specifically says like, I think Lotus Haze is one of the most messed up cards in the set. Next time Antoine is arguing, being like, it's not that good, just play Proprietary Negation. But I hear that and I'm scared. Because I think if someone's talking about how messed up Lotus Haze is, I think they're doing something really messed up with Lotus Haze, like resing a ganked. If you have a ganked on the table, you just can't run with Lotus Haze. That's the way I see it. Again, I get scared of this boogeyman I make up in my head, but the idea is if there's a ganked in the remote server, any ice now suddenly has to be a ganked respect ice. And as long as you can make your ice bad enough for the face check for that to be a problem, well, that's the case. And for the first couple points of the game, I am soul reading Paul. I make Melias flip improperly 5 or 6 turns straight in a row. Doesn't have a great econ start. It's like Charlotte in the early remote, open to HQ, just hoping the transfer doesn't come through. I transfer, I challenge the remote server, like a very, very good start. I think even before that transfer, I run R&D first just to flip Melias, like just doing some little stunting, running the wrong thing, flipping Melias and all that sort of stuff. But at some point, it doesn't convert to points. It doesn't convert to an actual advantage or very early. I steal like a Lotus Haze, but he can't come back. And this is the thing that I think we'll come back to when I talk about Melias. I honestly think this idea is a bit messed up. I think, and this is similar to like, I want to be very clear, when I talked about Ayuko early on in the meta, last meta, I thought Ayuko was like the most busted thing. I didn't know what to do about it. I struggled against it. I thought it was anti-fun. I'm falling into that category when it comes to Melias. The problem is like, it's a lot easier to beat Melias. Like you just have to beat Glacier, and there's a lot of decks in the history of the game that can beat Glacier. But this ability, like, I don't know how I'm meant to interact with it. At the end of the day, running the wrong server and then they get back as little as a hedge fund, as much as an Anoetic Void or a seamless launch, or if you're floating tag, something even worse. I don't know what to do with that, right? Like in the early game, you want to be very aggressive, but if you call it wrong, giving your opponent an extra hedge fund on turn 2 and 3 totally shuts off any sort of aggression that you're trying to accomplish. I love being aggressive in the early game on the basis that it forces them to res and, you know, you can maybe ping them where it hurts. But as long as they call where the thing that hurts is, you can't be aggressive anymore. And it really stymies the aggression in a way that I find frustrating, because obviously them not getting a credit is nice, but them getting a hedge fund back or a Hansei back or whatever it is that they really need in the early game is so damn important that it swings the game more than your pressure. The more I'm playing against Melias, the less I'm running. And I think the game is less interesting. I think I'm just meant to build up for a late board state, play Paladin, play Twinning, and just build up counters, because I do not feel like, at least right now, and I'll probably get better at this, that poking early is like worth the time, because the risk is so high and the reward just isn't that good. And that is frustrating. I don't know what to do about it. A big part why Melias is really good too, of course, is I'm playing Vic, which means I'm playing DreamNet. And so like you can't just run archives for fun. And that's actually really good. The fact that you can protect that without putting an ice on it is obviously very good. And then at least you can use that information to dunk on the corporation. But unfortunately, after like turn 5 or 6, and this is the really big turning point, is once the ice hits the table and the ice gets rezzed, it becomes such a better ability. On turn 1, you can always run the wrong server and spend a good click to stop them from getting a credit. But as soon as it's like big ice on HQ that you can't afford to run for a single, big ice on R&D that you can't afford to run for a single, and you can only run archives, like this ability becomes way less of a Yomi and more so of like, oh, well, I'm just going to put this on R&D because you can't run HQ for no reason on this turn. And if you need to win the game by running R&D, I guess then you can run archives. You know what I mean? But it's wild. It is really, really wild how powerful this ability is if you can't call it correctly every turn. And I do think you just sit back and give them a credit a bunch. And I'm probably pretty wrong about that. Now, the bad thing happens. Corporation's on 11 credits, something's in the remote server, and I think, okay, 11 credits, that's perfect. Because I can put a boomerang on the unresed HQ ice and I can straight transfer. And at that point, if the ice gets res for 6 credits, I'll transfer away the next 3 credits and then I can run the remote server. It's great. And so I do it. It's a Cloud Eater on HQ. And it gets res. And so I boomerang parts of it. My hand is not that good, so I can go ahead and take the damage. And I think I take the damage maybe again. I'm not sure what my hand is. But yeah, I do find a Cloud Eater on HQ, which is so bad for me because not only did the Corp res a Cloud Eater that I had to take 2 of the subroutines on, but now they're down to 1 credit, so the transfer isn't even that good. And this is now really bad because there's a Cloud Eater on HQ. I'm playing not Echelon, I'm playing Carmen, which I haven't found yet. Not that it's really easy to break this with either of them, but I can no longer run HQ cheaply or free. And that's what I mean. Like the Melias text changes so dramatically when one of the servers is basically off limit. Like you can't run the Cloud Eater for fun the way that my Breaker Suite is set up. Notably in this matchup, I don't find my Chesva or I don't find my, my Leech early. So my breakers are actually not that good. And that's an issue because you do need those to snowball yourself forward to make the subsidized cheap runs so the Dreamnet gets better. If you can't run cheaply, the Dreamnet's not that good in the Glacier matchup. I think giving them credits is okay. I think giving them credits is important. And I don't know. I find that to be kind of interesting. Remember last stream when I was saying that Vic was awful game into Melee SU, remember? The thing is, Eric, like my opinion from what I've heard from like really strong players is that I'm wrong. And that Vic is actually sort of favored into the matchup. I think I just need to readdress how I'm playing because I'm not playing into the matchup well. I think I'm being too aggressive. I think I'm trying to play to like keep them off guard the way that you're meant to like aggress on restoring humanity. And it's just like, doesn't seem to be the right line. And I think I'm overextending. And if I just play for a late game, I might dominate that late game. I honestly can't tell. Anyways, the game continues on. My opponent scores a Lotus Haze, and this is where I become terrified because the card in the remote server is an upgrade. And at some point, I think I'm going to go with the same plan. I'm going to like break the Cloud Eater with I play a transfer. I'm going to break the Cloud Eater. And then this is obviously such a bad play. But before I access, Paul asks, do you want to access? And then obviously the idea is that he can move the upgrade over onto HQ. If there's a ganked in the remote server, I lose the game. Like, this is the thing that I can't get around. If there is a ganked in the remote server and I say, I'm going to access, Paul can res the ganked, move it over to HQ, and ganked will force feed me back into the snake again. The snake will trash one of my most important cards, my breaker, which I have no recursion for, and the game is over. Now, let me tell you, Paul's not on ganked, but the fact that Paul talked so highly about Lotus Haze before, I felt like I had to respect this. I probably should have just said you have it, but I ended up breaking a Cloud Eater and just jacking out because I got into my own head. That is pretty damn bad, kind of embarrassing, but I felt like I actually had to jack out there, and so I did. We talked about it after the game, and Paul was like, yeah, I'm really happy that you jacked out there, because if I move my Anoetic Void over to HQ to end the run, it's like still pretty expensive. But yeah, I ended up doing this like terrible expensive run just to jack out once I realized like, oh my god, this could be a gank. The game could be over on the spot. The game grinds on. The ice gets really big. I can't run cheaply. I don't find my Chesva. I don't find my Leech. I do finally find my breakers. I think I'm looking for a Kurapira. I make a really bad play where the remote server is 2 ice. And then for some reason, I boomerang the first ice. No, I boomerang the back ice and then I run the remote server. So again, 2 ice, stuff in the remote server. I boomerang the back ice and run it. And then the front ice gets resistance to Botu. And the Botu ends the run because there's cards in hand. I don't know why I did that. It turns out it wasn't super important. It would have slowed down Paul a fair bit because then he had to res both ice. The second ice turned out to be a Tattoo Bola. So like I still wasn't going to get through it, but I could have got through the Botu and then forced the Tattoo Bola res, which might have slowed him down on credits for a couple turns. Time, I think, gets called, but at this point I'm like out of the game anyways, and I lose on points, and I would have lost if time wasn't called. I'm not sure if time was called. Maybe he did actually score out, but basically I was at the point where like I ran out of money. I could not run. I mismanaged my aggression terribly, and I'm convincing myself I cannot win this matchup. But that's my first Vic loss of the day, and I'm like, ah, damn, I didn't feel good about it, but that's okay. That is the thing that did happen though, is like once you have the Lotus Haze, my pinholes are useless. Right? Like I cannot deal with the Anoetic Void anymore. And every time that I fire this ability or Melius fires and it adds another card to hand, that's another card for Anoetic Void. But that was the really scary thing, is when the Lotus Haze was on the table, my pinholes don't work. And I cannot afford to run the remote server, which is a Botu with 6 strength, and I can't afford to run it multiple times. So from this, I have no longer any recourse to deal with Anoetic Void. If the Lotus Haze is scared, you literally do not have any card in your deck that beats it. The only thing you can possibly do is like play Light the Fire, and then they just move the card off of the remote server. But that is like a thing that I'm actually really scared of. When Lotus Haze is on the table, there is no playable tech for Anoetic Void, besides somehow getting every card out of their hand, which is not really a thing you can do. I found the hardest time I had was when someone pressured me a lot early, and then it was Shaper late game. Yeah. You get both of best of both worlds. Anyways, it was terrifying. The Lotus Haze was scared, and my whole deck fell apart. I couldn't pinhole the remote. I couldn't run anywhere. It was really quite bad. Anyways, I continue playing on. I play against, I'm not going to remember every game at this point. I should have reviewed it. But the other game I wanted to talk about is I played against Nick Odenuvo. I played against Pat. I got a really sloppy game from both of us. Pat played Hiram into my, into my Epiphany. Just a blank text box. Hiram fired twice, and it never mattered because I knew the top of the deck always. Pat ends up getting Oppo, doesn't have the money to clear it. Like, I don't have anything good to say from Hiram from that weekend. I don't know if Pat does too, but unfortunately Hiram just did nothing. Again, the Epiphany matchup, where if I know the top of the deck, it doesn't matter. I could just show you the card for what it's worth. But yeah, Hiram did not do anything. Shout out to Pat though. It was a really messy game. I had to win on the table. I just had to do credit Holloman in advance and I missed the line. I had to do something more ridiculous to get there. It was embarrassing, but it was fine. And then I played against Nick and it was Oda Nuvo. And Oda Nuvo is, you probably know, Oda Nuvo is one of the big organizers of OP, who does a lot of the articles online. And Oda Nuvo plays a sort of different netrunner than the netrunner that I really enjoy. Like Oda Nuvo is the sort of like Urtica Cypher or not Urtica Cypher player. That's cool. Netrunner supports a lot of different play styles. It's not my favorite, but I know when I go to a tournament, I think Nick thinks that I will beat him in like regular Netrunner, but he can always surprise with these sort of like traps or tricks. So he's playing Vic, no surprise. I think every criminal I played against, no, that's not true. I played against a Moosely Hot, was Vic. And I don't know what he's up to because I don't expect him to play like reg criminal. And then on turn 2, he drops like 2 Mayflies. And then I'm like, oh, that's bad. Is it time for Shred to shine? Sort of. I played against Hiram Azaba, did a decent amount. No, I could see it. It just didn't do anything in this matchup. He played 2 Mayflies on turn 1. And I'm like, oh, that's really, really quite bad. Because the only reason why a criminal would play 2 Mayflies on turn 1 is it's a Jachinyo deck. And let me tell you, I'm an NBN deck that has no interest in icing more than one central server. And I cannot easily stop Jachinyo. I'm playing Epiphany and I need a couple turns to win the game. And I'm terrified. Because if you know me, besides Cranked, who's in chat, if I lose to Epiphany to Knives, I'm going to tilt. I'm just going to tilt. I don't like it. Oh, you're right. Yeah, Nick was on Moosely Hot. You're right. Nick wasn't on. I played actually 2 Moosely Hots. You're right. Yeah, he was on Moosely Hot. That's for sure. Because he was showing me the cards off the top of the deck. And I saw like always have a backup plan. I'm like, oh, that's bad. So that's scary. Turn 2, he gets one of the knives off. And I'm like, that's bad. I do not think I can win fast enough. And the biggest issue is that if Nick just ignores me, and this is the part that gets me so frustrated about knives, if Nick just ignores my game plan and just knives me, he will never score an agenda. He will never trash one of my cards, which means I'll never get an Epiphany counter. And if I don't get an Epiphany counter, I can't have my fun. It's a zero-sum fun game, and I need my fun because like Stoke the Embers off the top deck is like the coolest thing you can do now, runner. And he's not trashing my stuff. He's not running my stuff. He's just letting it happen because he's like, I'm gonna win faster. Like if you combo, I combo faster. I draw a card every turn. It's goofy, and I'm scared. And then I realized like, okay, I have to do the best I can. And so the best I can is getting ice on centrals that gives tags. So ping is pretty good for obvious reasons. It's also nice to have a VSA or two, and a VSA doesn't search like that. But virtual service agent is nice because I'm not expecting real breakers, and then I just have to have B1001s on the table. So I get 2 B1001s on the table, and I just hide them. I put them out on the table. I have 2 federal fundraisings ticking, and Nick is laughing because he's never seen the interaction where you whiff the first federal fundraising, or sorry, not federal fundraising, balance coverage, where you whiff the first balance coverage, and then you reclaim you rename the right text on the second balance coverage. So you always get at least 2 credits, and if you're lucky, you get 4. But I'm just getting money. I'm just going forward, doing good stuff. Another big thing is if Nick never steals or trashes, I can't Oppo research him. That's another big issue with the matchup. So Oppo doesn't work, tag punishment doesn't work, and then of course my text doesn't work, which is a really hard situation to be in. But then I realized the other thing. Nick is never going to run the table. So I just start putting agendas on the table because eventually I'll find a Hollow Man, eventually I'll find a Wage Workers, and then shout out to the double-edged sword of Magistrate Revanchulate. Good stuff, bad stuff. Good stuff. Nick doesn't have a lot of money in the deck. So if I take away 3 credits, that's actually pretty significant. And I ended up scoring an agenda on the table. It's just like a 3-2 that gives a tag, the tomorrow's headline, and Revanchulate makes him lose 3 credits. Now he has to clear the tag and also lose 3 credits, and that actually does slow him down. Bad side, the turn where he puts the second knife in me, he sees an agenda on top of R&D, and he can choose not to steal it. I would be so happy if he stole it because it turns on Oppo research, it gets us closer to threat, it gives me an Epiphany counter, but because I added an additional cost, he can just see the agenda, say, I'm good, after asking a rules question, which means I can now just balance coverage and say agenda, which is really funny, but he gets the second knife in. And I'm really scared. The third knife will show up. I'm slowing him down by giving him 1 or 2 tags when I can, if I can, off of pings and stuff like that. But I'm very close to losing. I just start putting all the agendas on the table because I'm like, he's never going to get to 8 points. I'm just going to keep scoring out. I do make a bad misplay. I have a Holloman on the table and 2 agendas on the table. One of them was artificial crypto crash. The other one was a freedom of information. And I don't know why. Nick was on 1 credit and I decided not to score the freedom of information. I decided to score out the artificial crypto crash, which was bad because I already had a Revanchulist rezzed, and so he already lost all his money to Revanchulit. Scoring the Crypto Crash didn't matter, but I did it. He goes down to 0 credits, and this is the kind of loop he gets into. But he hasn't missed in Miami, so next turn he does like credit, he runs Archives with a clean getaway, and then he's suddenly up at like 7 credits. I'm like, why did I do that? And then next turn I could have scored out the Crypto Crash, but actually would have Tex, and I feel like, okay, if I'm going to lose the game, it's going to be because of that. It gets really, really close. He's trying to find real breakers. I think he's a bit too cautious. It turns out at the end of the game, he's also not running Hermes, which we talked about. I think he should be, because if he can bounce my ice, like my ice is the only thing that's actually stopping him from winning because he's scared of my ice. But by just putting agendas on the table, he does trash one of my hollow men, which was the right play. I eventually just squeaked to 8, like the turn before he's going to combo off. And that's because he kind of let me. He didn't keep the table down. He just dealt with the central servers, and Revanchulid did so much work. Every credit lost actually was really, really impactful. It was a lot of fun. Powerful card with a downside, unacceptable. I mean, it was interesting. It was really, really cool. Anyways, we pulled through, but oh my God, was it close. And it was a really fun matchup for what it's worth. Like, we both knew what the threats were, and just getting out to 8 points was just amazing. Other games, last round, I'm paired against Antoine, who is a teammate of mine, and we're 2nd and 3rd. We're locked in 2nd and 3rd place, and we're doing a top cut, top 4. So right now, Paul, who I played in like round 3, is undefeated. So he's always in 1st place. Me and Antoine are going to be 2nd and 3rd. We decide to ID because it doesn't matter. We just play for fun. I lose that game terribly. Antoine is also playing Epiphany. And then 4th place, turns out Roberto just gets in on strength of schedule, which is awesome. Roberto, great player, great friend. It's good to see him come back and make top cuts. But the problem is the store closed. We were meant to play like 6 rounds of single-sided Swiss and then do a cut to top 4 single elimination. So 2nd place, 3rd, 4th place, 4th place, 1st. But the problem is Nick thought we would end the game. And shout out to Nick, mind you, who's organizing this event. That was the player who's playing Knives. The store closes at like 5. No, like 4 or 5. It closes kind of early, and we're out of time. Like 6 rounds and a lunch break just isn't enough time to do all that sort of stuff. And so Nick asked, like, what do you want to do? And my response was, he was like, hey, we can maybe play the final games at like a Tim Hortons or a McDonald's or some sort of public place. And my response was, being in 2nd place and not thinking I could take a game off of Paul, is like, hey, Paul is undefeated. Like, Paul went 18 points. We're at like 14 or 13 points, whatever we're at. Like, Paul clearly won this tournament. Why don't we just skip the top cut and just give it to Paul? Which is not my decision. Like, everyone in the top 4 has to have a say, but that's what I said. I'm like, it's fine. I don't want to go to McDonald's and play. Like, I'm good. I can just go home. And then Paul, who lives around the corner, said, we'll finish it at my place, which was so cool. I've been to Paul's before. We played board games before, but Paul just invited the top 4 and Nick to come over to his place. He made tea. We sat down, we hung out with his cats, and he invited us to his apartment to be able to maybe take the title off of him, which was really, really just kind of noble and cool. So we end up at Paul's place with his board game collection. I end up playing against Antoine, and I play this Epiphany again, and it's just the best. It is just so good. It's a mostly hot matchup. I think Antoine is upset that he didn't trash, or he trashed the magistrate, and it just came back the next turn, and he realized like that was a mistake. He ends up in tag hell. He whiffs a couple too many draws off of Moosely Hot, and I ended up like, his economy doesn't keep up, and I end up scoring the game after some big oppo stuff. He can't float a tag, and it's a really cool game. Roberto has to play against Paul, loses that game, and so now my final game is once again against Paul, who's playing the Melias that I'm convincing myself I can't beat, and Paul hasn't lost a game yet, and it is his house that he's invited us in. And so I'm like, okay, I have to play Vic. It's fine. So yeah, I'll give it a shot. And so I kind of learned my lessons at the beginning. Same idea. I'm going to be less aggressive because I do have Chesva. I do have Leech. I have good breakers. I have good economy. Eventually I'll get to the point with 2 pinholes that maybe I can deal with the table. Maybe I can deal with the upgrades. Maybe a Lotus Haste don't get scored out. Paul's opening is like, hey Pat, how's it going, by the way? Good games on the weekend. Paul's opening is not like amazing. I think I fire his ability a couple times, and then like absolute deja vu on turn 4 or turn 5, single ice on HQ. He's on exactly 11 credits. I have the same amazing play where I'm going to boomerang HQ, send the transfer. And I do it. I boomerang HQ and I send the transfer. It's a Cloud Eater again. It's another Cloud Eater. He goes down to 1 credit, reses a Cloud Eater. And now I have to make a huge decision. Firstly, it's the worst transfer because now he's down to 1 credit. It doesn't even matter at this point. I might want to access. I don't think he's on ganked anymore. We talked about it, so I don't have to play around ganked at least. He's just on like Red Room and good upgrades, like reasonable upgrades. And then I hit this Cloud Eater and I'm deciding to myself, okay, think about this. What are you breaking on this and what are you not breaking? I look at my board state. My board state is good. It's like DreamNet, it's Class Act, it's like a Nuka, it's a Boomerang, which is just going to be used. And I think it's like there's a hardware, there's a Hermes on the table, but no breakers, right? No Class Act, sorry, no twinning, no breakers. So I'm thinking I can let this fire. So I think I do. I think I break the 2 tags and I take the 3 net damage and I let him trash 2 of my cards. And I lose a Hermes, which is pretty bad, but I have another Hermes, I'll be fine. I think I lose a Class Act, which is not the end of the world. And I get some garbage access after taking 2 credits off of him. And then I decide at this point, I'm not going to clear the tags. Last game that we played, I had seen no tag punishment. I think that he's playing Cloud Eater just because it's a good sentry. So I don't know if I have to actually respect this. And this is the issue, is like Jinteki tags is in such an ugly spot where it's like, oh, the punishment for tags is you lose the game, but not always, sometimes. But I get a revolver down and I decide, or a boomerang, I'm like, I'm for the rest of the game, I'm just going to take tags. I'm going to take 2 tags whenever I hit the Cloud Eater and just never break the subroutine and just never play resources. And I think I can win the game if I never play resources. Now, when I hit this Cloud Eater, most importantly, I couldn't take the 3 net damage because earlier, the last turn before I made this play, I had a lot of cards in my hand and I had my Carmen in hand. And if the Cloud Eater hits the Carmen out of my like 7 or 8 canner card, I lose the game because I only have 1 killer outside of the Carmen, which is a revolver, and I can't win the game with a single revolver. So I couldn't take this option. I had to take the rest of this. So I ripped my board state up and then I decide mentally, I'm just going to take tags because we played and I saw no tag punishment. Turns out he does have tag punishment. Not only is he playing Predictive Planogram, which was a card that was returned to his hand after I decided to go tag me. But at some point in the mid game, Paul draws a card off of R&D and looks at his hand and looks at my hand and says cards in hand, which is the scariest thing to hear from a Jinteki after you're floating tags. And it's so obvious. Everyone in the room could tell that he just drew a Mindscaping. Now, we played a long game earlier this afternoon and I hadn't seen a single Mindscaping. So I'm thinking if he's on Mindscaping, he's on 1. Maybe 2, but at least 1, because it's a fine Melias card, I guess, sort of. But this means that I can never go under 3 cards in hand. But if he finds a second Mindscaping, if he's on it, I just lose. Because at this point in the game, I've decided to play no resources, and I'm just going to go ahead and take every tag. At some point, I'm on like 11 tags, 13 tags. I have to ask for a D20, because I'm just deciding to take every tag, because I am actually making runs on HQ. I have a Carmen, I have a Chesva. Going through the Cloud Eater for only breaking 2 subroutines is not the worst thing, as long as you're playing a run event, and I'm keeping the pressure on. I am constantly keeping the pressure on, just trying to find the agendas, because no agendas are scored, no agendas are pushed out. I end up getting 2 points, or maybe 3 points early. That's like a send a message or something, I'm not sure. I think I got Steel Lotus A's actually early, and I'm just putting the pressure on with the little I have. I'm playing way too aggressively, but I am realizing here, without access to resources, I probably can't play the value game because I can't play the value pieces. Like I can't play my companions, I can't play my dream nets, I can't play my twinning. So I have to be a bit more aggressive and get a bit lucky. The game goes on for a while. He starts scoring on a remote server. He's doing a really good job where he's not like scoring and doing nothing. He lets his like, you know, his good server stay as a good server. So you can use the low costa every single turn because there's no reason to score with the low costa and just pass the turn, right? So he's often scoring with the low costa. I install my second Hermes and then he'll bounce the card, he'll repair the card, and then he'll put something else on the server. So I can't tell what's in the remote server, but he's scoring slowly and methodically. And that's really bad because if he overextends and goes too fast, then maybe I have a window, right? Like that's the worst thing you do with La Costa is just advance, score, pass, because if you drew an agenda, it stays in hand, right? So he does the thing where he just keeps never advancing, slow advancing, and then once the agenda is scored out safely, he puts the next agenda in and just keeps going, right? Like it's a very good play as long as the runner can't aggressively touch a lot of cards. And so basically it seems like all the agendas are in R&D, nothing's in HQ, and whatever's in HQ slowly goes into the remote server and it's lining up really well. I can't run R&D. R&D is like a Vampire Nasa or something awful, and my breakers are bad. They're just not good. One more time, I can't find my leech. Oh my god, I need my leech. My break points on my breakers are terrible. Breaking anything that the Jinteki deck plays with a shibboleth is awful. And I think I bottomed my buzzsaw early enough in the game. And so I see a window. I have one final window. He is threatening to score out his second agenda, which if it's a Proprio Negation, if it's a Lotus Haze, the game is just totally over. And I'm on 2 points. So I am working on this for a couple turns where I'm poking, I'm prodding. I find the Archives Ice. I force it to get res as a Tattoo Bola. I just let it bounce. I finally find my Kurapira. And then I have 4 clicks. And my 4 clicks are click 1, install an Iru. This is a good start because I think there's so many agendas in R&D. Click 2, I make an Eero run. It is only a Tattoo Bola. I break the Tattoo Bola. I go R&D, I see 2 cards. First card, send a message. Send a message, bounces the card in the remote server. That seems to be an agenda that he's been working on for a second. It goes into HQ. He has 6 cards in hand. Second card, it was nothing. Now I have 2 clicks left. And I know at this point, if I can't capitalize on HQ, the card just goes back to the remote server. He's going to trash the Eero because I have 13 tags or something like that. And that's basically the last good run I'm going to have. Central servers had like knowledge seekers, like all these things that are terrible to break with my shibboleth. And my money's not that good because all I have is the Chesva and that's not going to cut it. I have to click for credits for like multiple turns in a row. My hand is a boomerang. HQ is now a knowledge seeker that got res for free because I did score a send a message. And behind it is, of course, your friend, the snake. I think this is the game of Netrunner I've ever seen where someone has broken the Cloud Eater more than any other game in the world. I broke Cloud Eater so many times taking tags. So I decide, okay, this is my last shot. I think there was a more defensive line I could have taken, but I think if I lose this, like if I don't win this turn, I'm going to lose anyways. So I boomerang the knowledge seeker. I run HQ. I break the knowledge seeker and I just let the Cloud Eater fire. Because I know the Cloud Eater is going to take 3 cards out of my hand. I'm going to have not enough cards in hand anyways, and I'm going to be flatlined to the Mindscaping in hand. So the best shot I have is a 1 and 6 here, trying to grab the agenda I bounce the remote server. Because that was my turn. Run archives, steal an agenda, Hermes the remote the remote agenda into HQ, run HQ. That is my play, right? That is the cool judo flip. And so I have to hit a 1 and 6. 1 and 6, there's a chance I can go from 2 to 7 in the same turn and finally take a game off of Paul. I roll the dice. I access the Lacosta. That's it. Next turn, immediately I die to Mindscaping. I have no cards in hand after the Cloud Eater. And Paul reveals his hand. He did have 2 agendas in hand. One of them, which would have been hilarious, is Let Them Dream, which would only brought me to 6 points, which would have been awful. But there was legitimately a Lotus Ace in there. So I had a 1 and 6 chance, which weren't great odds. But the way that I played it, and as bad as things are going, the 1 and 6 was not a horrible way to end that. Because even if I lost, if I won, it would have been like the sickest story to take 4 points in a single turn, or 5 points in a single turn from absolutely the worst position. But I went for the 1 and 6, and 1 and 6s don't obviously well convert. And Paul won the whole tournament totally undefeated. Shout out to Paul, played really, really well. I think Paul published his list under Melias, that's his name. He's playing like a Lu deck that had some weird spice in it. I forget what it was, but I remember looking at the Lu deck and thinking it was pretty interesting. I had a great weekend. The games were really good. Like Paul inviting everyone over. He didn't have to do that and then still defended his title in his own house, which I think is fantastic. His cats are really nice. His cats are great. But I think the biggest thing that I walked away from this is firstly, like, what the heck? Again, Sam won the massive event with it and she's going to play this way better than I am. But I was so confident about my Vic and so unconfident about my corporation. Epiphany won every single game. Like I went 4-0 with Epiphany and with Vic, I won 2 out of 5. I didn't do well. Did I go 2 for 2? I think I went 2 for 2. But Epiphany just did so good. And it was so fun doing it. So I think a couple things. Firstly, I think I want to try different Vic lists. Antoine was playing Mooslihat, and Antoine's convinced Mooslihat might be better because I agree. Vic's text doesn't really matter. It's just basically, is DreamNet good enough to play a whole idea around? And is opening DreamNet good enough to play a whole idea around? My question is, maybe. Yeah, actually, maybe not. I don't honestly know. But I do think I would play this slightly differently. I think the ability to play slower and more control, which is the way that I should be playing against Melias Glacier, which again, I've been told I'm favored into, is I probably cut the Carpe Diems. I probably play daily casts. I think I want to play a second Chesva. I would actually try playing a Tungsten Tailor. I just don't know what the slot is for that. Waking Plan was actually really good on the day. I think Waking Plan is the only card I could have possibly installed to make my bad runs on the snake actually good. And it could have been game winning. If I got my Waking Plan earlier down, and I think I might have lost it to damage, I think I had a chance against Melias on the second shot. I know free lunch was useless because Diogen wasn't there. For sure, he would have tried to unleash me. But yeah, I'm not feeling great about this. I do think this list is very, very good. And my Melias matchup is like probably, I'm just not playing it well. But I think I would make changes to this. Leech plus Nuke to Taylor. I think Leech is so good, but maybe you're right that with the Taylor, you don't need Leech. Maybe that's the case. Hey Rory, how's it going? It's a fun recap. Thank you. This looks like it should be so strong, and maybe I just played it like a buffoon. I could say there's some truth to that. It did feel really good into every other matchup. Like into AUCO, I felt like I was in control. What was my other corp matchup that I played into? I should know this. Who was my last corp matchup? Shit. I should know that. Excuse me if I'm forgetting the matchup I played. Oh yeah, I played into Antoine, which I lost that game. So yeah, I don't know. It was a mess. It was a mess. Excited for Vic's text and meta right now. It seems like just makes matchups easier. Yeah, it makes the NBN matchups a lot easier, that's for sure. And it's actually the really interesting thing is like I played Vic against Epiphany and I was actually scared of it. But the idea is like the oppos are still not good, right? Like it's still half their turn in 3 credits, but you really have to do the big oppos, right? Like resing a ping just to like ping is not amazing. It's more so like you need to get multiple tags on the same turn. And so you have to kind of change your play pattern. You have to be less attritional and more like blast. So yeah, it's neat. Yeah, it was really good final games. Made me really excited. I left wanting to play more Netrunner, which is always the good time. I got all the prize support I could, which was awesome. We got the playmat and everything. But yeah, really great tournament. I was so happy to play JNet, and that's like a thing that I don't do that much because most of the Netrunner you see, it's like, you know, content Netrunner. But I had a great time playing JNet. I also want to say, y'all, I like when I smurf on JNet, I do it just so I can play games really quickly and I don't attract attention. Usually when I'm like playing games, there's like spectators. That's just the way it goes. That's fine. That's okay. I ran into a lot of people that are nice people that leave without saying GG. What the hell? What is with your JNet etiquette? You say GG when the game is over. On a wider note, I only learned this recently, and maybe this is exposing me as again of a buffoon. After a game of technically anything, I will always say good game and I go for the fist bump. I will always do that, right? I think I've been told from that you're only meant to offer the fist bump if you lose the game. Do you all do that? Do you all do that? I always will say GG and go for the fist bump even if I win the game. Is that gauche? I think I have somehow understood online that that's only meant to be etiquette. Like the loser is meant to like, you know, offer the handshake. That if you offer the handshake as the winner, you look like an ass. If I've ever done that, I apologize. I think you're just always meant to say good game regardless. But I'm very occasionally salty and tap out instantly. Tehran, you can't do that. It's the etiquette. You could finish a game a minute faster if you didn't say shut up. I get super miffed about when people do that or leave immediately and go concede leave when they're about to lose. Yeah, I like, there's no social repercussion for it. But I ran into people that like, I know that didn't know they were playing against me. So maybe they would treat me differently, but they left without saying GG. And I'm just sitting there and be like, I feel bad because I'm smurfing into people I know. Well, more accurately, they joined my game. But yeah, I don't like, I don't feel good about it, but also it's like, oh, no, I don't feel good about it twice. Yeah, it's always correct to say GG. I don't get it. It's not a conversation. The saltiest I get is hit GG and slam leave. I mean, that's good enough. Say GG leave. That's fine. That's okay. You can do that. Say regardless. Okay, thank you, Kolava. It's okay to offer a handshake fist bump if you win, and people who disagree are charm and soft. Oh, that's toilet paper. Yeah. I'm like a whole ass 1 hour 30 minute later. Lucy, how's it going? How many Smurfs did you smurf into? I smurfed into a lot of Smurfs. I saw on Friday so many Smurfs. Like people that I knew that didn't say GG. I'm like, ugh. But like I played into people who I knew they were Smurfs. And it's like the night before many tournaments. I don't feel bad about that. Always offer the handshake whether you win or lose. That is the good etiquette. But I come from team sports. Yeah, Layden, that's what we want to hear. How's it going? Yeah, good. Okay, I feel better about myself. But yeah, no matter what, the handshake comes out. You lose terribly. You lose awfully. You just GG. It's easy. Just leave then after. It's fine. Played someone yesterday that conceded with the score was 0-0 because I was running too much and making them spend too much money. I mean, I guess. What can I say? When I whiff 2 dives after 35-minute grind, when I'm fast, they're slow, and I spot a misplays, I have a hard time. Yeah, for sure. But like, I feel like we need to self-reflect and still like, I don't know. It's a social contract. I get how we get there. Like, I'm not gonna pretend I don't get salty on camera, but yeah, you always GG, even if it's not it. Technically, you think a good game. That's not the point, right? Anyways, you want to build that gank Melias list? I think we built that ganked Melias list. Melias looks really good. Oh, I don't think we have time today. We'll probably do it next week, but there's a lot of people posting lists. And I do think that's actually really nice to do a quick, no, we're doing it. This is way too important. Let's do a quick meta review of what's going on and what's not working and what's working. Sokka published 2 lists. Sokka played, mind you, at that NPC event in Seattle. I don't think Sokka finished particularly well, but Sokka was like trying out stuff, and like I think Sokka's exploring. This is a really cool Hiram list. It's actually not that different than the Hiram lists we've been playing on camera, specifically with the prognostic Q loops as like a really fun way. It's not on stealth, which like, yep, I think that's kind of the issue, is adding stealth into Hiram is another hurdle on top of another hurdle. But Gachapon is actually kind of sick. We saw this in early Arasana lists as well, which is really fun. But this is a nice instant way to see the top of the deck, especially on the corpse turn, to be able to plan out your whole turn. Because that's one of the hard things with Hiram is like, oftentimes you're installing your hardware on click 3 or click 4, and that's not a good time to do it. So having the flexibility to fire this, hey, that was great story. Thank you. I felt your excitement. Thank you. This is really nice. Otherwise, it's just like the sort of breaker suite you expect from Sokka. You got Coalescence, you got Mantles, which are good. They work a prognostic, and the twinning. The twinning is a really nice piece of this that makes a win a bit harder. Sokka calls us out as being very difficult to pilot. I know, I play this sort of list a lot. It is very tricky to pilot. Very interesting. Then I think I haven't seen the Sokka Knowledge Seeker list. It's Meliosu, Glacier. This is the sort of agenda suite that I think I was playing against too, but I think it's only maybe on 2 Let Them Dreams and then 3 Lotus Hazes, maybe Proprietary Negations or not. Petty Cash is just very good at Meliosu, for sure, but pretty strong. Botu, Tetubula's Lion's Mane, Cloud Eater. I think the one I saw was maybe a bit more Cloud Eater heavy, the one that Melios won with, which is published, but also it had a Red Rumor too, which I feel like I had to trash. Hey, Visitron, JNet isn't serious enough to warrant smurfing. If you practice in public anyways, are going to try it out themselves anyways. Well, I disagree with that. I do think smurfing is like, there's a value to it. For myself personally, it's also so I can like grind a lot of games out relatively quickly without like I feel like a dickhead saying this, but like without small talking, like just basically getting to the game, playing, and then, you know, going to the next game respectfully, because I do want to chat with people. Like people want to chat with me. It's a bit slower. You know what I mean? I don't have a JNet Smurf. I don't understand why people bother. It feels like an entire testing group plays on their mains. I know a lot of people that just play on their mains too, but I do think like there's some reasons to do it. Anyways, yeah, this is Glacier. This is kind of what you expect. Petty Cash is not bad in Melios is the thing that you throw out. I don't think I'm going to like this ID. I think I'm going to grow more and more frustrated with it unless I can beat it consistently. I think that NSG might have been in a weird spot trying to make a Jinteki identity that competes with AUKO. And I honestly think they've done it. And I don't know, maybe that's a hill that we shouldn't be climbing. I've been thinking about this and like, I don't know, like immediately. And of course, like check in like 6 months where we've all figured this out. Like I immediately feel like maybe trash 2 cards off the top of R&D to make it more destructive would be interesting. That probably would just make it straight better though. Let's be honest. I don't honestly know if this credit should be here. Like maybe the credit shouldn't be here. I can't tell. But then this would probably be garbage, but this seems overcooked. I don't think I like it. I don't think I like recursion like that. This list is very, very powerful. And I know bears were working on lists like this. Arasana is seemingly one of the strongest runners in the format right now. It does look like they're good decks in every single faction, which is really cool. I don't know exactly what to say about this list besides Urban Art Vernissage Economy seems to be back, which is quite nice. We have the Stowaway, which is way more important than you think it is. This card, the fact that if they don't res, you can just grab it and then threaten to get 2 credits off of any server is fantastic. Let alone that install sets up your Urban Art Vernissage Economy and your Environmental Test Economy, right? Like the turn they install a Stowaway after they don't res, you get 2 credits from Stowaway, 2 credits from Urban Art Vernissage. You draw a card with the Lily Pad. Like this is so good. And unfortunately, like when these sort of decks are good, it's all about playing about what's in their hand, which is really difficult. And of course, they have that sort of toolbox where they can punish basically everything, right? Like if you res, they Fazarum. If you don't res, they stow away. If it's good ice, they can hush it. If they don't, they don't, right? Like it's wild. The Lucky Charm is a little tech piece, probably some LEO tech in there, I'm assuming. But just really, really good, really mean. You have to play around the One of Illumination, it turns out. Yeah, this seems really, really strong. And I know when I played very early, I played like one Arasana game into Vantage Point, and my immediate thought was, holy crap, I have to put plays into this because this seems hard to play, but has a really, really, really high ceiling. If Melios is too good, it would have been playable if the choice was face up. I would be happy if they trashed the card face up. I think that would help a heck of a lot. Cool, you feel that way? Pretty wild to tell other people how to feel the way. What? I played with the Sokka list a bit. All the dedicated purge tech for Knowledge Seeker is rough. Oh, is that what the deck is on? Because it's on all the like the Maviruses and all the white spaces. I honestly don't know if you have to play Knowledge Seeker purge tech. Maybe you do if you're playing 3 Knowledge Seekers. But it turns out the more Knowledge Seekers you play, the more they protect each other. I just don't know if you have the time to run it down or not. Yeah, I don't know what it's in response to. Oh, the smurfing thing? Yeah, that is the thing too, Jeff. Like when I generally when I play, like there's a lot of spectators. I don't mind it. Spectators are respectful, but yeah, that is a different thing for sure. What is this? Whimsy Districts? I don't know where it is. Tuno posts 2 lists. It posted posture training, which seems like a very solid op list, and I believe it posted an ESA list too. We're seeing Reg Hoshiko, mind you, Warlock won an AMT with Melias and just Reg Hoshiko-esque ESA, which is kind of cool. I guess we'll look at Red Room Glacier, which I'm assuming is not gonna be that different. This is very Reg Vic, which is not like what we're expecting to do. To see, we'll see if this is any different. Versus South-based districts. So far, my playtesting Elio hasn't felt amazing. It's felt like it had a rough Vic matchup, so I'm excited to see how this is. I think Coder did well. Cody did well with this deck. This one's kind of interesting. I'm not a big Editorial Division fan. We'll see what that looks like. This is Warlock's Glacier version. Down in Sydney, this is Outfit. Let's see what that looks like. And there's a couple more I wanted to open. Yeah, this one's interesting. Tuna's lists are great. Zomdraft, our world champions, played Elio as well, doing well in districts. I'm assuming that's in Sweden. And then we see some Myoshu stuff. Oh, yeah, London's list, Nervous Nightjar, Lewis, Too Tame, Undefeated Paris Districts. Okay, we'll just call it there. We'll open a Davs list from Paris Districts. This, I can't tell what PD this is going to be. Let's just look at a couple of these. Iron Chef. Whimsy was the Metro Manila Districts. Oh, Other, how's it going? Yeah, that seemed like it had a good turnout. That's really cool. Hey, Joel, how's it going? Not the trash, the server choice being face up. Oh, whoa. Like, they had to show you what server was on? It would be less Jinteki, but honestly, it would be more interesting. Would it be more interesting if they showed you the server? Yeah, genuinely, it would be, maybe it'd be more frustrating. But oh my God, it'd be so cool. Hey, Jai, how's it going? Well, yeah, we're trying to gank people. I see you got the title. Yeah, I'd honestly be into that. That's kind of fun. I would want to see how that is. It's a bit too soon to talk about Melias like that. I know that there's one list that like dunked on Melias, and I think it was Warlocks, which I kind of like that sentence. This is Harakite Uku, Whimsy Districts. So this is in Manila, if I'm not mistaken. The heck is this? Poison Vial, Airblade, Simulchip, no Icebreakers, just Botulus and Spree. We're winning off Augustina Cacophony Cookbook Mill, 46 cards Lou. What? What is this? Poison. So we played against like Poison Vial, Simulchip, Slap Endle, but Poison Vial, Botulus, is this enough to break things? Chisel into Devil Charm is more breaker. Yeah, this is mulch, but you don't actually have breakers. I'm assuming you can get locked out if they respond to you. Rejig is like a cool Botulus tech piece, especially with Cookbook. It's another also way to fire Augustina, which is kind of interesting. This is the sort of deck that you expect to be on that Shaper console I never remember the name of. But in fact is on literally no console, which that's okay, I guess. This list looks hella weird. Very, very interesting. Very, very, very weird. I definitely would consider playing this. 3 Scrounge. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Poison Vial's really good right now. Yeah, Poison Vial seems to be okay. Mind you, Boomerang seems really good right now, but there's a lot of ice with a lot of subroutines on it, and people are playing a lot of ice with a lot of subroutines, so I could see that. You can also rejig this as much as this trashes itself when it's empty. Weird list. I don't know how this converts. Like, our only multi-axis is Cacophony, a bit of Sabotage, and Stargate. We have Heliamphora, though, which is a fun card. This is interesting. The only money is for Mentor Paladin. Antoine, how's it going? Good games on the weekend. Yeah, the only money is for Mentor Paladin, but also, like, do you need money? I guess you died a measured and Oppo and stuff, but yeah, it looks like you don't need money. But literally no money in the deck is really funny. Really wild. And using Scrounge to actually put a card on the bottom of the deck, I don't know if we're getting there. Like, we're not actually mulching, but strange. Really weird list. Shout out to Snack taking. I'm assuming this district actually had a whole bunch of people. Tuno's playing this. This looks interesting. We have like good op stuff. We're on 1 red room. I know I talked about this in the spoiler video that you could technically trash on as you have to trash a 2-coster to find the red room, and the red room will trigger. And another really cool thing about red room is that like playing 1-pointers is kind of worth it. Now the red room probably has to go in central servers, which means you probably want to Winchester it up on HQ, which is a tough thing to break really early. I don't honestly know if this is worth the slot. I think Tuno can win many events with like really weird cards, so we'll find out if this is optimal or not, but this is an interaction I wanted to see. It's like SDF into red room, as much as there's only one SDF. Weird. Not a lot of tricks. Yes, 18 ice, actually 18 ice in this, right? 5-2-1. We have Afro and Stavka, which is good. Event Horizons is good. We also have Bioac and Op, which I don't think you're really playing around. I played red room Op in my meetup after seeing this less impressed me. Oh, very cool. That's very neat. How do you get it consistently? Like, is it only SEF? Because what 2-cost trashables do you have? Yeah. Not on Myoshu. I don't know if it has money to do that, but kind of neat. Yeah. Kind of neat. Really weird. Very, very weird list. You can do anything with Op. So Warlock published this. This is again the sort of like Hoshiko vacuum. And so the Hoshiko vacuum, this is like Reg Anarch, but in ESSA. So we're just on Echelon Buzzsaw. I played one game when I was smurfing where Begamut came down and I was playing Op, and like literally every card in my hand was broken for 1 credit, and it felt so bad. Like this card is it basically turns off half the ice pool, it feels like. This card is definitely worth playing. And there's a lot of taxing barriers in the game right now. Like I do think this card is worth pursuing, and that's a really good reason to play ESSA. Otherwise, it's like Reg Anarch, very Reg Anarch, 2 Tungsten Tailor, and I do think this card is a lot better than maybe people think it is. It's looking to be really good. I want to play this in everything because running cheaply is nice, especially if you're Dreamnet build. Daily cast, Nuka, Paladin, it's just like, it is what you think it is. 3 Marrow, 3 Ghost Tongue, and no recursion loop. So just 48 cards, 3 Nukas. I'm assuming this is fine. I don't know how much core damage you can take, but as an extra win condition, it does say draw a card on it, so you're technically Hoshiko. There are many 4-strength code gates. Yeah, that really helps. There are 5-strength code gates, but 4-strength code gates really does help. The killer situation for Anarch seems really dire. Like, it does look like everyone's importing something here. Begamut and Ari has some special place in my heart. I played against a really weird deck where it was like Begamuts and then, Begamut Ari with like the ways to paint things, right? Like you play Begamut and Shaper, you play a whole bunch of cybernetics or whatever, and then you like put what's it called? The thing that gives it subroutines. That one. You know the one. I don't know the name of it. The one with the cephalopod will know the name. Yeah, seems good. Honestly, it kind of seems tricky. Might not be the best thing you do, but it seems really tricky to play against. Red Room Glacier, Godson. There's not much to say about this deck. Yeah, that makes Chromatophores. Thank you. Yeah, that's the one. I think you can do that pretty well. Yeah, we're gonna see a lot of Melius lists that look kind of like this. Sleipnir sneaking in. I know Pat played this on stream. Empiricist Lionsbane. I think I don't play Empiricist anymore, and I just play Lionsbane. Man, Lionsbane is good. Man, I just don't like this card. If you haven't shouted out the Apex Showdown this weekend, but I'll be streaming it on my channel, doing up the scheduled stream as we speak. That's perfect, Jai. We did shout it out. I didn't know who was streaming it, so I'll put a link to your channel in the video. Thank you. I didn't know who's streaming it, but it seems like a sick event, Jai. I'm assuming that means you're not playing. If you are, good luck. If you're not, good luck streaming. I won one funny game. Hey, Pacha, how's it going? Against 10 strength Begama by getting a log to 11. Yeah, they just hush it. It's really hard to beat it. Like, you can get it to 6 strength super consistently. It was like on turn 3, 6 strength. Interesting, the sentiment I've seen in Pierce says it's just better than Lionsbane in a TTT meta. You think so, Stwide? I don't know if it matters. Like, what's the most common kill you're running into? I think it's Echelon. I think if you're playing Tungsten Tailor in Echelon, you should be able to get this down to maybe you struggle a bit. I don't know, but it's also more so the face check. It's like, I would rather res this for 6. They lose 3 credits and take 2 net damage than res this for 7. It feels like it. Yeah, I think Echelon's probably going to break them both for 3. I don't know. This just feels nicer. Also, mind you, in AUCO, this just like does your text a fair bit more. Like, you care about these subroutines way more than you care about these subroutines. I don't know. This is like, it's really funny because like a tag is usually worth 3 credits because they spend a click and 2. Are we playing Rhyme? Honest question. No, I don't know why we would. I think you just play another ice that's better. Echelon break for 6 with TTT unless you have a 4th breaker. Yeah, I think you install the 4th breaker. I think you do install the 4th breaker though. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like this one. I just don't like this one. Hackerspace would be so fire if it didn't require unique. Yeah, it'd be good. There's a Hackerspace deck I think that Tuno posted, which is exactly the ESSA deck that I wanted to talk about, which is cool. All right. This is like it's a Vic deck. Not surprising. Cool thing about this list is actually playing Praxis and actually has a program that's worth recurring. I think I've seen so many Vic decks that are playing Praxis but not having recurrable programs. Admittedly, you can like get a breaker back and that's nice, but I honestly don't know if this is worth a slot. I'm not convinced. I think people just want to play more cards that work with Vic, but I honestly don't know if this card is worth the influence just to bring back a daily cast. But bringing back a compilation, yes. There are some matchups where bringing back a class act on the right turn is game winning when you're going to die to combo. You can't ignore that. But I feel like there must be a better way to spend this influence. But we'll find out. I like the card movement in Empiricist, but then I build my whole Melius deck around card movement. Yeah, like you don't need that effect in Melius, right? Anyways, this is, I'm assuming, what a lot of Vic decks are looking like. New Face of Red Crim, Lunaria has this really great image here, and this is the regular version, still on Praxis, but no programs you want to recur. I don't get this. I don't get it. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I need to play it. But like 2 Pinhole is what I'm playing. Actually gets the Tungsten Tailor in here, which is nice. Eru, I think, is non-negotiable at this point. Twinning seems non-negotiable because I don't know how else you win. Awaken Plant's not enough. And then we're on Buzzsaw Leech. Oh, I did want to say that the deck choices I made, where I cut the Echelon for Carmen, and then I cut the Shibboleth for Buzzsaw. I never once installed the Buzzsaw all weekend. I did have to use the Carmen, and it was just as bad, if not better than Echelon, because I was breaking snakes over and over again, and you can't break snakes easily with an Echelon with only 1 installable. Daily Cast alone is worth it. I don't know about that. Like, so you're spending 2 influence to run archives, which heaven forbid they ice it up. Say they ice it up, which they should to some extent because you're playing DreamNet. Then you install your daily cast for 1 credit, and then you have to spend a credit to draw a card. I don't like that. I don't think so. Like, can't you just get that much value from playing a Carpe Diem and save 2 influence? I don't get it. Practice for Revolver, I've never seen it. But you could, but I've never seen it. But like maybe playing 2 Revolvers, 2 Praxis is better. I think Revolver is really good. No one playing Sellout even with Priv Access? What's Sellout? Nadu, how's it going? Echelon, Charm, Shib, Buzz is perfectly fine. I was doing Revolver, Carmen, Shib, Buzz, and I never installed the Buzz. But I do think I played a bit too aggressively. I was playing Marjan on my meetup and I was pretty happy with it. Ooh, I could see that. I could see being happy about that even. This seems fine. Marjan is not as bad as we think it is. What's Sellout? Wait, Sellout a card? Holy shit, Sellout's a card. Oh, geez. Yeah, I haven't seen anyone play this card. I don't think you need it. We've overcorrected. Criminal has enough card draw, it turns out. I actually like the art on this one a fair bit, but I don't think I need to add more card draw into my Criminal deck. In fact, I think I have too much. I don't know. I haven't seen anyone play it, and like I don't know a good target for it. Like if you sell it the daily cast, it feels good, but you did lose 2 credits on your daily cast. Like it doesn't pay for the thing. Sellout is arguably good though. Sellout is arguably good. I'm assuming Sellout is good in like a Baz deck, but like the only target in the meta I feel like I really want to sell out is like literally a failed the card recall Vicken. Sellout an open market feels good. Yeah, I guess. Like, hold on. How to sell it? So when you sell it in open market, you lose the credit on it. And so you spend a card to gain 2 credits and draw 2 cards. Is that good for a card that's a brick in your hand on a lot of board states? Sellout is good in startup. I mean, maybe a low bar? What would you be selling out that gets a profit? I honestly don't know. Sell a Class Act in open market. Selling out Class Act, I think, is the best option you have, especially when you can play a second Class Act. Selling out open market, I'm not convinced. Open market for 1, you're going to get the credit anyways. So this becomes 2 credits and 2 cards on a situational card. It doesn't seem good. I don't think that's good. Yeah, sell out the Underdome. That's the one I'm talking about. Like if the Underdome fires, sell it out. That's okay. Especially because you installed this clicklessly, so it's a lot better. Maybe you can play in an Az deck where you install stuff cheaply. I don't know. I want to play the Az deck that plays the Hacktivist, Hacker Meeting, whatever. 3 Sella, 3 Smartware, and now we're gaming. If you can clicklessly install the Smartware distributor, like you install the Smartware distributor clicklessly with, it's still not good with Baz. Yeah, I don't know. It's like we don't have coalescence. Like resources are not programs. We have so many programs that have limited shelf life, let alone we have so many more programs in our deck, let alone we have engines that require you to sell programs. Currently in Netrunner, we have no strong engines that require you to install a lot of resources, and we have literally no resource with a shelf life. Every resource with a shelf life has some amount of credits on it or trashes itself when it's empty. I don't know. Sell it a Word on the Street so you can rethink your deck choices. Real talk, I lost my copies of Word on the Street. I reorganized my binders. I can't find my 3 copies of Word on the Street. I can't find them. Ultimately, I feel like that was the best card that I could lose possibly, but like it sucks that I have to buy a whole new vantage point to find these. They have to be in my home somewhere, but this did not enter my binder. Like I do not know where this card is. And I'm just hoping that 1 of 2 things happens. Firstly, nobody plays this, which seems like we're on track for that. Secondly, a full art or something happens. Open market daily cast CC. But that doesn't make sense. It's like the daily cast, you lost 2 credits on it. So now your card that you put in your deck gives you 2 cards and 1 credit on certain turns. Just fast events out of agenda, they'll show up. Just check your score area, idiot. Imagine losing Claude. I have so many nice Claude altereds though, so you can't. I think I have a spare playset if you want me to give you at Worlds. Like for real, Swide, that would be a huge save. Thank you. That's awesome. I feel like this entire conversation confirms Sellout would have been the best card to lose. No. Sellout, we want to talk about playing. I didn't even remember the name of that last card. Well, that's actually true for both of them. I'm sorry. Anyways, this is fine. I don't get this. I need to try it, but I don't get this. I'm assuming people want Vix text to be relevant, and I think there's a chance that it doesn't have to be. I also do think we need to be a bit critical, because I think on this weekend, I played games where Moosely Ha would have been better. Some of those games were against Glacier, where I could not run consistently to make DreamNet better. I do want to say DreamNet is still good into Glacier, because having, 2 value credits, 2 value pieces returned for your expensive runs allow you to make those expensive runs. That being said, if I just had better run events, I don't know, maybe that would have been okay with Moosely Hot. I honestly can't tell. I'm not a big Moosely Hot believer in general. But yeah, there's like Vic honestly didn't feel amazing. And some of that was because I played full tag me and then I couldn't play my resources, but don't worry about that. That could happen to anyone, right? Matrixco, South Bay Districts. Oh, shout out to Matrixco. Yeah, sick. This is a Myoshu Leo. I know I've had people try this. I've heard people trying this. The big interaction here is with MCLL, the train. You can score it out, have a click left, and just play Myoshu. Do you have that much money? Maybe. I do think the LEOs can have a lot of money, but they usually don't have a lot of money. This deck is playing Charlotte, which feels a bit slow, but yeah, it's some money for sure. But this is kind of neat. Doesn't feel like there's a lot of ice in here. No, that's probably what you'd expect. Yeah, that's actually kind of what you expect. Maybe you'd expect 1 or 2 more barriers. But I don't know how many times the Myoshu actually mattered. I have to read the write-up. But yeah, this is something I have no doubt like people will try. You also can't find it consistently. So like it's a weird situation where you don't know whether you should be playing around the Myoshu or just scoring at your points. But yeah, I could see this be interesting. It's just like another fail line where it's like, oh, you fail to good criminal pressure and you fail to not having enough money, which kind of falls into the same camp. I'm assuming if I can score out an agenda in the remote server and also have 10 credits left over, like maybe I was going to win that game anyways, but maybe that's wrong. Maybe that's just like being able to score at 2 agendas faster before like, I don't know, Shaper reaches peak hell or Anarch reaches peak hell is better for you. I can't tell. One of my Canberra mates won Sydney Districts last weekend with a fun Moosely Hot deck. Myoshu, the card that I've gone up on most so far, but it started quite low. Jeff, I'm scared of this card. Like I'm genuinely scared of this card. I think this card is like, this is obviously, we need to do our tier list, bud. we need to do our tier list sooner than later. Oh my God. Yeah, nonsense text. 2 agenda points is nonsense text. 10 credits doesn't matter when the game's over. This is Cody's list. Current obsession, editorial division. Just like that. New search feature. Yeah, it's faster, it's fun, it's flexible, no one knows how to use it. I actually really value this right out because it's great. And Cody points out a couple things that I haven't had the time to test. Cody says Luana Campos is the best thing you can do. And I could see it. Get bad publicity, becomes no bad publicity. You trade it for 3 credits in a card draw, which is really good. That's very, very, very good. And also when you trash this, you regain the bad publicity. So editorial division will fire another time. That's a good way to double down. I think Cody talks about in the write-up actually having 2 remote servers, one that has Luana Campos in it and the one that you score out in. And that makes a lot of sense. This is a really good way to fight the downside to your deck. It also has B1001 in it as another little fork, which works with Nihilo Agent. This abstractly from a distance seems like too many pieces, but it seems like it's working fine. And you can always grab the right piece at the right time. Not that you can grab B1001. Barriers, what you think there are, no small pings, just big grubbers. And mind you, playing the small pings and the big grubbers is bad into Kurapura. That's something you have to watch out for in the Epiphany matchup, I think. But you got Messnies, you have Piranhas, Valenchow, and Doomscroll. I'll be honest, I don't think I like Piranhas that much. Maybe it's better. The fact that when you res this, you get a card into your hand anyways, means you should probably be having more cards in hand. But I think Valenchow just seems so much better because there's like no chance you have more money than the editorial division in the early game. Because the editorial division just plays Vulture Fund into Vulture Fund into Vulture Fund. So they usually have an end run on this, but like you can always beat Piranhas by just like drawing a bit. But yeah, looks like we have our influence on Luana Campos. So I need to try this. I tried this on Wednesday. Hey, Pre-Chief, it was fun to play. Yeah, I could see this. I could definitely see this. The trick with Myoshu is actually good. It makes for bad Netrunner and vice versa. Yeah, maybe. Piranhas is so much harder to fire than Valenchow. Yeah, I agree. It's much harder for this to be relevant to Valenchow. Runners are drawing really well. Runners don't have that much liquidity that quickly. I honestly think Valenchow is a much better ice as much as you have to spend influence on it. The change for this Valenchow made this card so much better after the bad pub change. As an RE player, I'm never going to discourage people from playing bad pub decks. Yeah, which is like really cool at the Luana is here. But yeah, the Baz decks too, I'm imagining, are eating well. And I think Jeff won the event. Jeff didn't publish his list, but Jeff was playing Ari and oh no, it wasn't Baz, it was Ari and Omp, right? Very cool list. I want to try this at some point. All right, Warlock. Is it the bad one? Somebody wrote that they think Melias is a mistake. Oh yeah, this is it. Warlock. I'm firmly in the Melias was a mistake camp. I'm honestly there. I think my opinion is going to change in a while, but I think this text is nonsense. I don't think recursion should be this easy to pursue. And it's just Melias Glacier. I've been told, and I know Paul, who I played against, was playing bronze on the deck, and just having big barriers is good. So bronze and Botus. 2 Knowledge Seekers. I played against Vampiranassas. Every deck is playing a Cloud Eater, which heaven forbid you find it at the wrong time. I don't love big unique ice like this that are that punishing because it's always there. No Red Room, Petty Cash Hansei Hedge Fund, Humanoids, Charlottes, Bites. The 1 bite is actually really tricky, and having 1 bite as like an option, I think is probably worth the slot for better for worse, because if they ever fire MLSU on HQ, you can grab it from archives and put it in hand. Oh no, bite recursion. Yeah, that's gross. If you ever see it on top of R&D, you can leave it. Oh no, bite. Like that's gross. The deck doesn't have other ways to punish you. Like it doesn't have also what's it called? Fuji, but it has Lotus Haze over Proprio Negation. And the more I play against Lotus Haze, the more I think that this card is much better than Proprio Negation. You can beat a Proprio Negation counter. You can't beat 3 Proprio Negation counters. These are functionally expensive Proprio Negation counters because they have to fire Anoetic Void. But that's it. Like it is literally 3, and it beats Pinhole, and it does everything that you want to and more. It is such a good text. I think this is much better Proprio. I've been doing a lot of Baz tinkering. It's been fun. It feels like it's getting to a solid spot. I think it's going to take a lot of tinkering, Jeff. I'd be excited if you can get it there for sure. Yeah, 3 counters, not limited to 1. This is wild. This is way too much text. Number 2 big. Card's really, really good. 2 Spin Doctors is interesting. And there's a chance like Melias has enough recursion because his text box is busted that you can get away with that. Very, very weird. Hey, Cat, how's it going? This is great. Just swap off for prop and bite to Red Room. Swap off for prop. You really think so? The 1 of? I could see 1 of mattering more than anything else. I'm doing good. We're doing a bit of a recap on the weekend. I had a great weekend as well. Played some Epiphany. I played Sam's Epiphany. It was kind of sick. It's kind of really, really good. Zwaufit. This is Arjorb's list. Sydney. DC District of Canberra. Yo, Rohit, how's it going? Oh no, a big deal deck. I'm realizing I was playing Swiki decks that had influence left over, and you could easily play Nano Management, let alone Big Deal. And you have the money to Big Deal with Vulture Fund. This is the regulatory capture version. We're on Basalt, which Big Deal makes sense. Singleton Bite. Gross. We're on Measured. We're not on Tag Punishment, seemingly, but we are an outfit type list. I imagine this is actually kind of fun. This looks all right. You have the red caps for Bad Pub. You're playing, oh, you're not actually playing Trebuchet. Weird. You're just playing Valenchow. I think Trebuchet is really good. The thing that's weird about Melias is that there's 0 deck building tension. You can do literally anything you want out of the ID. I agree. Like, that is the thing that I'm experiencing. And I wish like there is deck building. There is tension when you play against AUCO. Like the one thing I respect about AUCO is when you survive the AUCO gameplay, at some point, there's only 4 points in score areas and their deck is 12 cards. I live for that moment where you can just say, I'm going to let out my breath I've been holding all game and just send it centrals and I'll probably win, even if I have to risk taking the FUT damage. There is no turn where you get that sort of relief from Melias. Like, I'm trying to think about comparing it to Ag Infusion, and I also don't get that. Like, Ag Infusion is something you can beat by, like, doing some sort of chess, like doing some sort of judo. They have to fight to get their unresed ice in the wrong position. The more I played Ag Infusion, the more I thought Ag Infusion was an interesting matchup to play into. I don't think this is interesting to play into. It's not hard to build a board state where the runner can't afford to intelligently play around your call. They can't. It doesn't make sense on a lot of board states to spend 6 credits to go HQ. Like, it doesn't. You can't go HQ to make them flip. So, like, yeah, the question then, is it a 50-50 between archives and R&D? But having the game have such a pivotal 50-50, the difference between bringing back a Hansei review or an Anoetic Void or a seamless launch versus, like, them losing a credit is just such a not a game I want to play. It is such a game I do not want to play. It is way too big of a swing. Giving back a hedge fund on some boards, it's absurd. By deck building tension, I mean the ID doesn't pull you. Oh no, I know what you meant, but I also wanted to talk about the AUCO tension. But yeah, you're right. It doesn't make you do anything. It's like very vanilla, and that's fine. Vanilla IDs are okay. Any card that makes sense of Melias, if you build the rest of the cards around it, yeah, and you'll play it twice. Like Measured Response Melias, at some point, people will play it, and it'll just bring back Melias Measured Response. I miss the proportionality of the ice and ag versus LEO. Needing the unres as the innermost to tax money was a big deal. Yeah, ag infusion was so cool. Like you had to plan it, right? Like that brown subroutine. You had to actually go out of your way to do things. I do think you're making a snap judgment. Ag counterplay took quite a lot of time to build up. No, Cror, I totally agree with you. And I did preface this earlier with like, hey, you can listen. I'm on tape talking about like how when Ayuku came out, I said I'd rather have personal evolution back. And obviously with time, not only did we figure out like what the decks looked like so it was easier to play into, but we figured out play patterns that made it make more sense. Obviously Ayuko is still busted, but I'm definitely in the camp that like 6 months from now, we'll look back at the Melias and be like, okay, it's just like restoring humanity. I'm cool with that. I'm excited for that. I just want to be very clear with what I feel like right now. And what I feel like right now is like, it's a bit wild. It's a bit wild for sure. Not saying you won't be right, but we're still early. 100% we're still early. I love Melias right now, but when the novelty wears off, it's going to feel constraining. It's straight up power crept RH and others. It does feel like a power crept RH. To be fair, half of Ayuko's best cards got banned. Yeah. But even when Sting was around, it was like kind of still fun. Like I kind of liked it. But yeah, it is. It's just like, it's so hard to build the Jinteki identity in the set after Ayuko and then make it relevant. And I think they did. They definitely did. Let's say that. Wild. This is the ESA deck I wanted to talk about. And I knew this was a thing. I didn't want to talk about it on stream because then it becomes my idea and it wasn't my idea. But the idea here behind this ESA deck, and I can't tell if this is great or not. Tuno it's been playing a lot of ESA for the last little while, as Tuno does. But the deck is on Hackerspace, which is cute. Because if you can fill this up with the companions and connections that the Hackerspace needs, you get +2 maximum hand size. And ESA needs hand size. And in theory, if you're playing this, you don't have to play Marrow. Not that Marrow's a bad card, but then it means you can play like Hermes. And that's actually really, really cool. This is the deck that I wanted to try. ESA with Nurse Hain, mind you, also really good. Not on a 3 of, on a 2 of. And it's so easy for Nurse Hain to be great because anytime you fire ESA's text, there will be, by definition, 2 face down cards in archives, barring a Spin Doctor. And that means every archives run now is +2 cards, let alone +3 cards with the need chip. Really, really cool engine. And then you have Disruption with the Hermes on top of everything else. And then you have Abasu. Supposedly that's a code gate we're playing in this. Audrey, and then a Begamut, which of course you play Begamut. This is really cool. Can't tell. Not a lot of text from Tuno. Tuno's write-ups are generally can get pretty abstract, but very cool. And we also have memory diamonds for more hand size. Zero Chestushka feels sus. We even have the Hermes to pressure HQ. Yeah, but I would say like it's a mixture of the no Chestushka is strange as much as like a lot of the lists that I've seen from ESO are only playing 1 or 2 Chestushka, but also like no HQ pressure. Like usually you have a compilation or something in that kin, but we have nothing for that slot. I do like HQ pressure as well, and we don't exactly have it. So I don't know what you're meant to do for that. Like you probably can't cut a simul chip. I don't know if you can cut an Ashen for like, I'd even play like a Dawkins Pass. I don't care. 3 Hackerspace seems far too many. I would guess that's my thoughts too, but I do think it's kind of like playing 3 Marrow. Obviously with Marrow, when you install it, it replaces itself and you can install the second and third copy for some sort of forward tempo. But I do think you need this text, and this is a soft econ card, right? So install unique companions and connections cost 1 less. It's like most of the deck. Like, okay, Fueno doesn't matter. Lagu is now cheaper. Nurse Han is now free. Paladin is cheaper. No, Paladin's cheaper. I could see it. I think you need it. Yeah, with no Marrow, 3 Hacker is probably right. I think you just need the hand size. And I think this is a cheap thing to get down. Don't you just need it in the mid game? I don't know. I'm pretty happy to find a Marrow on turn 2 to 3. I think you're right. You might need it in the mid game, but then you also get into this issue where like you want your things on it. Like it's also a sequencing issue, right? Like as you have your Nurse Han installed, do you want to install your Nurse Han now, or do you want to install your Nurse Han in the Hackerspace? You need to install it in the Hackerspace because that's the only way you get hand size. So you need to find this as soon as possible. So yeah, I do think you kind of need this in that order. Soft and non-existent econ. Yeah, the deck doesn't have a lot of money. It's 2 Fermenter and Strike Fund. It actually doesn't have the Ghost Tongue. It's not playing a lot of events. So that's also kind of weird that there's not a lot of money in the deck. So I don't know. I have no idea. I had no idea how it works. I got a feeling this win owes more to Tuno than the actual cards in the deck. It could be both. I think the cards in this deck are going to pressure people in a way that they've not experienced from ESA. Right? Like closed deck lists. You get, Sabotage poorly. You risk 1 point in there. Hermes blows up the remote server. You run the remote server. Like against Hermes ESA, I think you have to play relatively cautiously. The issue is you can't afford to play cautiously against ESA all the time because ESA can just blow you out. So I do think there's something to it. I think Hermes and ESA is like very, very, very powerful. I just don't know if the slot is something you can actually reclaim or not. Reincarnation when a non-hacker Nurse Han dies and is reincarnated, overinstalled, hosted as a hacker. Successful runner remotes also flip Méliès. It would give more counterplay. Yeah, any successful run would be kind of fun. There goes your remote horizontal Essa. Oh, sorry, Méliès. I don't mind that. Octopus deployed. This is from a World Champs Helms draft. This looks relatively straightforward. Caveat Emptor, very, very good card. I don't know if this was in the last Leo deck we looked for. I'm still waiting for this to be played on turn 1. And then a ritual to draw 4 cards. I'm living for that moment. Haven't seen it yet. But this card, I cannot understate how good it is. I'm assuming it was in the Myoshu deck because you need a lot of money. But this card's so good. Like, you can give just about anyone extra credits on the first turn of the game to get a Hansei that doesn't cost a card. And then in the mid to late game, you can play this to make the Méliès City Luxury line safer in their remote server. But generally, I think like 4 to 5 times you're doing this text because it's really, really good. Sure, deep dive is a problem. I honestly don't know how big it is in the meta. It hasn't seemed to be that important, but I've been mostly playing Criminal, seeing good stuff Anarch, and the Shaper decks like that one Arsana deck we looked at has 1 deep dive in it, which is important, but not the end of the world. Single Knowledge Seeker, interesting. I don't know if this is worth a slot. I can't tell. It's a good face check. It's a good face check, that's for sure. We have no other Purge tech. I think MIC is just a really good card, but if people are attacking to break 4 strength code gates, maybe a 5 strength code gate is worth it. This is a lot of influence. I don't know if this is like the best slot, but it's a fun slot to play. Singleton Tattoo Bola, it's not unheard of in LEO decks, and then a single ADT, which is kind of interesting. You don't see this one all the time, but interesting agenda suite 8 agendas. You need to do the math here with this many 3-pointers. Does it let them dream probably matter? It probably does. It still has good text, but there's some agenda suites where this doesn't line up. I'm assuming this one actually is pretty good. Deep Dive wasn't a huge meta force when GFI existed either. No, I guess it wasn't. Yeah, that's an interesting point. The number of times I've seen first turn caveat 1 click into Ritual, though, I haven't seen it. -1 click also into Ritual would be way sick, but I haven't seen either of those. I want to see it for sure. Should we have a finality for Hermes Blowout? Yeah, I could see it. I could see a finality in that deck. This is Tinker and Taylor, Soldier and Spy. This is looking like the good stuff Anarch we're expecting. Good stuff Anarch seems to be back. People are playing Lu. People are playing Hoshiko, not Hoshiko, but Essa, because we can't play Hoshiko. I think the things that are worth shouting out is Echelon seems to be the killer we're seeing in most places. There's an upside to that. You can rush out Echelon relatively well. It's pretty bad in the early game, and they have to find everything in the right order, and they have to install it, which they're not that good at, as much as some people can be playing Gachapon. But in that slot, Boomerang is back, and I think Boomerang is actually back in a big way. Feels like 2023 Anarch kind of good stuff where like you're not really great at early remote pressure. A lot of botulists aren't showing up everywhere unless it's like a virus deck. I don't know why, but Boomerang is meant to be like the bridging point, and I think you're seeing it in a lot of decks. Criminals are playing 2 Boomerangs consistently again. Sometimes they didn't. Seem to be in that meta again, and Anarch is playing Boomerang with some consistency too. Singleton Classic in this list is wild. I don't love spending 5 influence on a card I can't tutor, but this card is really damn good. So it's really sick with Lagu as well. It's a really, really fun interaction. Shout out to 2 buffer drives, no Ashen, which like I haven't seen somebody play an Ashen in a way that's meaningful in a while. So I could get behind that. Buffer drive is not a bad card. Showdown scheduled stream is up on my channel. YouTube at Gyroscopic. Jai. All right, I'll get that linked. Is it? Apex Showdown, sick. Cool, thank you. We'll link that here. That's coming up soon. Very, very cool. All right, I think that's mostly it. Oh no, Myoshu regards. Slay the Spire. Shout out to Osti, my friend. I don't know what the handle of the table is. Oh, that's a remote server. Yeah, that's some op stuff, isn't it? This looks like the deck list of the week with some small changes. I know it's a bit different. We have more 5/3s. 2 Regoliths, no Antils. Wild, Antil seems good. But all our upgrades are here. So we're playing another Mavirus. We're playing actually fewer upgrades, I think. We have the Afrun combo with the Stavka, which I do think the Havrun Stavka combo is worth something. You can just win on the spot with Criminals. But that's cool. The only winning move is not to play London's deck. London was talking about this in chat before. The ability to like very aggressively get a Myoshu. The idea with Basalt Spire is when you score this, step 1 score Basalt Spire and Nuveng is so strong because then you get the seamless launches forever. And then you can just close the game out of nowhere. We don't have Vulture Fund in this, which I thought you would play Vulture Fund. I know from our testing where we played Nuveng, giving bad publicity to the runner was really bad. And I don't know if you need the 9 credit econ card in Nuveng when you already have pretty good econ cards. Like an Extract is, 8 credits if you want to work on it. But we're just playing Petty Cash, which is again an 8 credit econ card. KPI is really good. Hedge-run's great. And then not too many other operations, which is kind of surprising. I thought you'd have to play 1 or 2 more, but Pivot's nice as well. Flagship, single Malice Bird, Data Vault. We're on Winchester Descent. This is like not that big ice. Like our only higher end is the Logjam, which like it's a good higher end as much as Kurapiro can farm you. That's where the bad publicity comes in really bad. But we're not playing Toxin. I'm assuming Toxin would show up in a lot of places in Nuvang because it's like a very obviously Nuvang card. And then we're not playing any big sentries, just Event Horizon or Winchester. So this is way later than I think, which maybe means that you push out faster. It's also not playing the new Flamethrower card. Can't believe I missed an Netrunner reference to Slay the Spire 2. I haven't seen it yet. I've seen a picture of it. But I've been really enjoying Slay the Spire 2. We played some co-op games on Monday because our Arkham group couldn't meet. And so we just did all Slay the Spire. It was really quite nice. Just play Reg Loop and Epiphany. Deck's good. Epiphany is so fun. Oh my God, it's fun. This is Dav's list. Is this 2021 PD? Davs is playing 2021 Reg PD. I was going to assume that this would get stomped by Criminal. But we're on 2 Anoetic Void, Managarm, 1 Perfect Recall. And this is the hard thing about Perfect Recall with a lot of agenda suites is like Perfect Recall, if you want to protect your agendas, you need to be playing as many agendas as possible. There was a moment in the meta where the Perfect Recall like effect that used to be in the game called Lakshmi Smart Fabrics, you would actually play 21 agendas or 19 agendas just because you'd play like 3-3-3. That's not something you can really do here with PD super easily because you want to play 18. So if you want to protect the agendas, it's a bit harder, but Let Them Dream helps. But this is interesting. This is like what I thought you couldn't do. No spin doctors, notably as well. But just like the most straightforward, honest Netrunner you could possibly play. Deck scores quite fast. Sometimes a little slower if you see blue across the table. Might need to click a regular with a bunch first. Yeah, I'm not surprised by that. 3 humanoids. I don't think you could play this. And yet somehow Davs is playing it, which like shout out to also a fantastic player. But yeah, I'm assuming that this is just like dead on arrival. Cannot beat Vic. But that's wild. Really, really cool. Dabs is playing in Paris. Yeah. Very cool. And then Reg Anarch is dead. Long live Reg Anarch. This is what I'm talking about. Like just Reg Anarch, Echelon. Audrey has like a little flavor package. Is nice. It's a good card in general. It also is like an econ and a survivability piece on a lot of board states. And the boomerangs are sneaking in there. We do have an Ashen, 40 cards. Not a lot of Lou decks are getting down to that spot. 3 Pinhole is pretty wild, especially in Lou. That's really nice. You want to be trashing stuff, especially for your badge and your Lou value. The Taylor is just in every Anarch deck I'm imagining that wants to break ice. Just dodge bad matchups. I mean, it's hard. I think at the tournament I played on the weekend, I played against a Hiram and then all other games were Criminal. It was just Criminal, Hiram, which I'm not surprised. Cool. Yeah, that's what the meta looks like so far. And so far, people are not like posting massive success with Shaper. Besides that one Ari list, which shout out to Sam. Whiteblade did really great with that. But we haven't seen a lot of Shaper lists. I think the Shaper lists usually take the longer to both to show up, but also because they're usually responses to corporations. And it's hard to understand what to respond to. So I'm not super surprised about that. Good Stuff Criminal is like the easiest deck to build out of the set, and it seems to be doing really well. The choices of where you spend your influence matter, and I think I felt them actually pretty hard on the weekend, as much as I think my play pattern could have been a bit better, but Anarch just seems to be super reg. Unfortunately, it's 11:30, so we're not going to be able to have time to build and play the ganked deck, so I think we're just going to pick one of these decks and play it. We already played Op today, so I think we're just going to go for something on the runner side that might be a bit faster. Actually, no, let's try this. This seems great. This seems interesting. So I read Cody's matchup off screen, or Cody's write-up, excuse me. So Luana's goated. Being a listed means you can fitch it. Nihilo is hella weird and I love it. Sometimes it's right to rise on their turn to remove the bad publicity. Witch Hunt is busted, yeah. Ice Suite is good and taxing. I typically play 2 remotes, 1 Luana, 1 scoring. Mid-end game, I'll Ice B1001. Must play 3 Hollow. It's also weird there's no ping on, and like none of our ice tags besides Doom Scroll, and we're playing B1001. I don't fully get that. 1 Scapegoat can be good, but was only impactful in a few games. Cut for Plano, so you have more chances for econ cards. Vulture Fund turn 1, which is busted. How to beat it, reps, lots of money. Let's give it a shot. We're going to talk about Tinker Tailor. To step away from a meeting, the deck is messing me up. We didn't talk about too much about it. We had it open. This is just like the Regus Anarch we expect. This is like very similar to the list that won Worlds in 2023. At least the fundamental ideas are. We don't have Banhar. That is the one like big difference, but we're still like having that boomerang tech. But it's just Reg Anarch. And how do you beat Reg Anarch? I don't have a good answer besides like play good. Like that's kind of it. If you can trash the twinning, this is like the only multi-axis in the whole damn deck. So if they can't find it, like I don't think they're actually putting on that much pressure. But yeah. That's mostly it. It's like shoot the twinning, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. Same way that you beat this back in the day, which is usually just good fundamentals. Sorry that I don't have a great answer. How does the ED Vulture Fund turn 1? Just credit Vulture Fund. Hedge Fund Planogram. That's the reason why like cheap economy cards are really important. But yeah, you generally want to play like a planogram. Some people play YDL. I think your digital lives actually makes sense because the editorial division often finds themselves starting their turn with 7 cards in hand when they take a bad publicity. I could see that being a YDL instead of a planogram. That might actually make a lot of sense because like, you know, you res a bad pub ice, you get a bad publicity, you have 6 cards in hand, you mandatory on 7. You res a piranhas, you're now on 8 cards in hand. I could see us wanting to play the YDL instead of plano. I'll try it the way that Cody played it, but it's an easy swap. You beat Red Narc by putting their breakers on the bottom of their deck. Yeah, you can just rush out and hope. They don't put that much pressure on centrals, not like criminal, so you don't have to ice HQ turn 1. Lose a bit different because like if they open a gourmand and trash one of your important pieces, that's not good for you. But you can't just like try and make the game about the remote server as fast as possible. They don't have like the cutest tech either. Like they're not hard teching. NBT YDL as well. Yeah, we have a next big thing. Yeah, we should just play the YDL. We do have a next big thing in the deck, don't we? No, we have 2. Yeah, let's just make the quick change. I don't know if this works. I like your digital life a lot for my testing. I don't know if this updates the deck if I don't change. Hey, City. Let's just try and refresh it and hopefully that forces it through. Ion, how's it going? Were you in Manila? I don't know exactly where you live, but I don't know if you're playing this weekend. Not be able to play today is our last game of the day. Usually that's when you sneak in. Padma, cool. Okay. Don't love this hand. We don't have any like bad publicity tricks or even money, so I'm gonna mulligan it. That seems fine. Mess and Chess on R&D seems good. We both mulligan. Hey, best of luck, have fun. This is the sort of hand where you want a YDL because then we can get the Vulture Fund down ASAP. But instead we have a Spin Doctor, another good YDL target. So we want to put ice on R&D just so you don't get like a free Nuka charge. I think we can open with the Spin Doctor. If we get a YDL into the Vulture Fund, it's kind of nice. Okay. Valenchow on the remote server is probably our play. We could get Bernard on HQ. Spin Doctor doesn't exactly help. We can't really res this. This doesn't have any plays in it. It's because we didn't draw an econ card with Vulture Fund. I do think you need enough cards to make this playable. We could have just done credit Vulture Fund, but then we end up discarding like 2 cards, I think, because we go from 6 to 6. No, just 1 card. So our plan is just to play a Vulture Fund next turn. So I think we're just going to credit. Which one's really quite good. If it's stolen, we can go get an Oppo, which is kind of nice. I don't think we want the embedded. We'll see if there's any reason for City to run Archives or pressure the Spin Doctor early. This deck is running real 3-pointers, so City can just win on 3 steals. So it's not like we can feed a 2-pointer and not care, which sometimes is actually a play pattern in a lot of NBN decks. Oh, this is going to be the Begamot deck. Or just Reg. This could be like Reg. Oh, actually, this is probably Reg Cacophony. I know Cable was playing a deck like this. It actually seems pretty good. It honestly generally seems Padma, Ghost Stun, Cacophony seems not bad, which is kind of funny. Credit, we'll do Vulture Fund. Search for a card here. So Luana we can put on the table, but it's probably going to get trashed. So I know that's what we're meant to get. We could push the Witch Hunt. We have Hollow Men, right? We must have Hollow Men. We have every Hollow Man in the world. So we don't need to get ice. I think we'll try and get Luana. We keep it in HQ. They could run HQ if he wants to. Like, we might have actually wanted to do this next turn. Just do credit, install ice. So we can do credit and push Luana. Because Luana could get trash from HQ here. We don't want that. Grab another Vulture Fund. Yeah, I like that a lot better, actually. We should have just Vulture Fund chained. And then we'd been on 4. Yeah, that's way better. I think misplaying the early games in this deck is not something you want to be doing. But yeah, going to 21 credits on turn 2 and then pushing the Luana is way better. The thing is, like, I don't really know if we push this Witch Hunt. It's good text. Spark, okay. Orca. That doesn't deal with any or ice. So this deck is going to be on Orca and Lobby Someng. And it's just going to be good value. So we have to play a bit fast. Because if we can't force City to do anything. This costs us 5. It costs City 3. Can't lose bad pub. Charges the Nuka. So expensive Nuka charge. We only have 3 Doom Scrolls in the deck. We probably want to res them because the Orca charges and breaks them for 2. So we have to just make our code gates and barriers good. We only have 3 barriers though, so it's not like we can do a lockout for Lobby Someng. And Lobby Someng needs to charge to struggle against barriers. So we'll see. We have to hope the next Sparks are in the bottom. We didn't see any in hand, or so we didn't see any in the dig, so they could be anywhere. All right. I don't like this. I think we did misplay. A Vulture Fund here would have been so damn good. We have to be on 3, right? Yeah, of course. Okay, so I think we just do another spin. They probably think this is the Luana in the remote server. If it's the Witch Hunt, the Valenchow probably connects. We go down to 4, 5, 6. Like the Valenchow probably doesn't end the run. I don't think we care what happens to this thing. I think we just put this on the table anyways. The B is also pretty good on the table, but I do think we'll probably ice this up next turn. Ritual to draw 3. This Witch Hunt, we definitely need to haul him in to score it out. It just gives us bad publicity, which means we can go get another nice card. We want to get to threat 3 sooner than later before City's money like really gets there. Because like there's gonna be a lot of turns like this where City's not gonna interact and just like play hedge fund or sorry, sure gamble for 5, creative commission for 5, and that's a problem. Because then some of our ice doesn't do anything. At least with the Nuka gone, the Piranhas gets a bit better. We're gonna ice this up. Definitely drawing for a spark here. If you don't have a spark, it's really, really ugly, especially if you draw in your Lobisome and you don't have a rigging up. We saw one rigging up in the deck, I think. Baya? Oh, my Luana. No, that could have been a spin doctor. It's unlikely it would be the third one. So we'll see if this goes down. Bad publicity means like jettisoning this Luana. Like this is pretty bad. Dig? Yeah, this is the Cacophony deck. So that goes down for 2 credits plus the bad pub. And there's the 5 credit econ play. So that sucked. Yeah, we definitely have mismanaged the first turn and we're feeling it here. We could have been on an extra 7 credits and have that actually iced up. Bad publicity goes pretty far when Lobisome is a breaker package because they're really good. Like, I want to concede. I think we threw this game into the garbage. I think our margins are so low because our deck literally doesn't do anything anymore. If we double advantage Witch Hunt, we're down to 8 credits if we click for credit. If the Valenchow gets rezzed, like it doesn't end the run anymore because our opponent has really good liquidity, which beats our deck. I think we mismanaged the first 2 turns disastrously. Like the best we can do is like advance Oppo, but then we're on 5 credits and we can res the Valenchow, I guess. If Sadie doesn't clear the tags, yeah, we're so cooked. I think I'm just gonna do advanced credit Oppo. Yeah, this is really bad. I played against this deck and they played a Luana 5 turns in a row. Maybe try that. Yeah, well, we could have done that. We should have set that up. They don't have hand size though. Oh, for the Piranhas? Yeah, you're right. Maybe Piranhas is a bit better. But if we res this, we go down to 2 credits, which we can't. Like, we have to assume they think this is Piranhas. Spark? Uh-oh. Wait, no, this is fine for us? If we res this, they have to break it for 6? Oh, it's so bad. If we don't res this, the Witch Hunt comes through. We can get an Oppo or we can get a Vulture Fund. But if we res this, we go down to 2. They have to boost. So that goes down to 4 credits. You have to break 3, 2. They break for 5. Yeah, it's still not nothing. We get a card here. I think it's the Luana. It might be the Oppo. It can't be the Vulture Fund. Like, it might just be the Luana. Like, an Oppo here would be pretty good. They could have another buy advance for 1. Yeah, it has to be Luana. Oh, we just put it behind this thing? They might give us 2 credits. If we, like, pulling the Oppo, they would not give us 2 credits. So, unfortunately, Editorial doesn't fire twice, so we lost our value. Because it's only the first time. So we could have got another card here. Now they're on 2 bad publicity and our ice gets broken for pennies. Like, we're cooked. Game's over. Like, they break Piranhas for now 3 credits. They didn't need to spend the last one? Did they not? No, they would. Oh, yeah, they could have saved a credit because the last sub-routine doesn't matter. Yeah, you're right. 3? Oh, they're on 3 bad publicity. The game's over. This is why I don't like Editorial Division, but I think we had a better early game that we could have pursued. We just did not. If we had an Oppo here, like maybe we have a game, but like we can't push anything. We're so cooked. And like hope this is good enough. Like they're gonna get so much bad publicity they can actually run R&D and charge for free. Because they break this for 3 credits. We've given them 3 bad publicity. Running R&D is entirely free against the Captain Padma. Oh, I don't want to do this anymore. No shot. I think we concede and run it back so we can get another game in. They also don't need to break all of this. Valentine and Trevor are victims of being balanced the outfit. They're 1 credit too expensive. Yeah, they're slightly too expensive. You remember resing this for 5 actually really does suck. This is too expensive. But new bad pub rule into Mesty, it doesn't matter. They just break all the subroutines. Like we haven't advanced it. You're right. If we advance it, they lose credits, but we can't afford to advance it. Yeah, I'm gonna concede. Yeah, I'm throwing the towel in. Just granted Axu. No, I'm out. GG. I'm so cooked. How's it going, Axu? Yeah, I needed to vulture fund into nature. Yeah, my ice is not gonna do anything anymore. Yeah, and like many of the cards in their deck are like clicks for 3, clicks for 4. So we have to do that again. We had to vulture fund for sure. And then I don't know whether we had to oppo immediately, but vulture fund to vulture fund is probably still not good enough. I don't know what 2 ice server we can make. Like 2 ice multiplies really well. This Padma deck's actually good. Yeah, I'm scared of it. I'm scared of the cacophony thing. I think it ain't bad. Yeah, I think this cacophony Padma deck is a lot better than it looks. I know good players have been playing it. It might be a bit slow against like, I think it's slow into like horizontal, assets. Like that's a bad matchup. But if they're playing Glacier, like this is pretty good. Oh, get out. Oh, I think you should play Cacophony. It seems good. Yeah, we're gonna do one more try. Hey, thanks for gaming. Yeah, I think Cacophony is worth a slot. All right, give it a shot. Corp. Turns out the bad card in the deck is the ID. I mean, the ID allows you to do the thing that you want to do, which is like find the punishment. The question is whether that's good enough. And I don't think it is. I'm hoping it's not though. Hey, City, good game. We were so cooked. I think on turn 1, I needed to do, turn 2, I needed to do Vulture Fund for Vulture Fund, not Vulture Fund for Luana. I think I was way wrong. This hand's fine. We can do a Mesty on HQ. Best luck, have fun. It got worse. So we can draw a YDL and then ice. Okay. Grubber's pretty good in the criminal. Transfer into Boomerang is like game losing. I don't think we can play around that. Yeah, we definitely were meant to go for fun there. Luana past turn was like the worst thing we could have done. I think anything ED can do, Nebula can do better. Cut the BP package and keep the remote play. Yeah, that's probably true. All right, so 40% to go through. If we do this, they already got Zaya, but this gets it rezzed, which helps. We can no longer Vulture Fund, which maybe that's bad. Like, yeah, I don't know. It feels like because our ID doesn't do anything without the right cards. Are they actually gonna, is he gonna pull a decoder? No shot you pull a decoder here. And install it? Wild. Like, I'm not threatened when you break this for 4 credits. I don't think. Like, there's no play we can make on this board state. Our ice all cost 5 credits. I guess we have a Doom Scroll, but like, how do you score these cards in a remote server? You need a Hollow in or so much time and money. Like, I feel like a rush deck that it just like, it doesn't do it. It can't do it. We could have had this for Piranhas. If it was a Piranhas, the face check might have been more relevant. We would have got a bad publicity card, which could have been Luana. Like maybe this should have been the Piranhas. Maybe that was like the opening play. We could put this on a central server. We probably don't want to. But like, we probably get transferred sooner than later. This sucks. Shut up. I'm a non-believer in ED. No, me neither. I think you have to draw really well. If you don't draw well, I don't think here's a play. Like, we've drawn 2 agendas by this point, and like, we just don't have plays. Like, what play could we get here? We needed like top deck ahead. Wait, does the deck even have hedge fund? Yeah, it does, of course. Nice. Oh no, have we become monster again? Wait, Ren, what do you mean? No. How's it going, Ren? We net deck to deck. So far hasn't been great. What does Shibboleth break Prahanas for? Like 5, 6? I'd say you're wrong or anything, but it's funny to be playing a tutor ID that say we have to draw well. But it's true. Like, if you don't draw your Vulture Fund, you don't have ID text. Oh, I was like, you cannot do a draw, but yeah, they figured it out. Oh, hey, we're back in the game. Pass turn. Let's go. Hedge fund, sick. Ship sucks, bus suck good. Ooh, yeah, breakers early. We're bravadoing? I don't know if he has the money to cash this check. I think you want to play Ship. Ship is really good early. So if we res this, we go down to 4 credits again. We give it bad publicity. I mean, sure. Allows us to grab a card from our deck. I guess we're going for a Luana. We were told that we have to do this. I don't think you can break the server anymore. You have to boost here. You have to break at least the last subroutine. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to break 1 subroutine. So you can't. Feed them NVT to fix your hand. Yeah, it might be actually worth it. Draw YDL. He actually knows how bad this net damage is, so you could decide whether to break it or not. How do we even play Luano here? Oh, we just put it behind a grubber. I guess. We hit a Simon chip. Oh, nice. It's got a lot of money though. It seems like a deck that could compromise us. Like, how are you going to Marjana through this? I guess you just pay 6, right? Grubbers seem good. It's Marjana. I don't think we need the bigger picture anytime soon. I don't think we need 3 Grubbers though. Grubber costs too much? No, it costs 5. We res it. We just don't res Luana right away. That's fine. We pick our battle. If he doesn't res it, we don't. If he does, we do. He knows we have it. But like, no cards in it. We don't have to play around Pinhole. Oh, this is way over 40 cards, right? What are we at? 35, 36, 37, 38, 39? We're at 47 cards? That much have been breakers. I don't know if this points us in any direction. This just seems like you want to play smooth criminal. Like, this is not Dirt Eater. I don't think this is any sort of like weird destruction thing with Simul Chip. I think it's just like comfort Simul Chip. He's thinking. He didn't talk in chat at all. Okay. Do you run last click? No free lunch. Sick. Luana at nights. Let's go. And when we trash this, we get a bad publicity back. So we can like, this is the cool thing with it. You can over-install on this just to get a Vulture Fund. It's kind of cool. It's like kind of neat. I think now we just play slow and steady. We definitely want to Spin Doctor because we are flooding up. If we install B1001, it technically like could be ran. I don't think it matters that much. This won't fire again. So we actually probably do overinstall this to get a Vulture Fund. But if he doesn't face check, we like, this is the frustrating thing. If he doesn't face check, we can't get our thing. Marjana points to dirt, maybe, yeah, but then Hermes doesn't. Like, I think you just play Lily Pad in that, right? Like, we need more bad publicity, which means top deck Vulture Fund. I mean, different fund, but same thing. I'm okay just hedge funding, clicking for credits, I think. The issue is like, we still can't really score any of these. It would be nice to do install advance credit and then advance this to get the dividends text. I think maybe there's a world where ED wants to play extract to continue to circle Luana. Well, you can just overinstall her. You don't need to extract her. Right? Like it's really cool that we install embedded. Go like she's a cool threat that you can overinstall her to grab an oppo. Like that is genuinely quite neat. We can install embedded, go get a vulture fund. The problem is if we play the vulture fund, it doesn't fire editorial, so we probably don't. But we can always just like go grab an oppo. I'm assuming Ero's in this deck if we're on NFL, let alone it's Ero. With Paladin, this is probably not tag me Zaya, but this is probably twinning Zaya. This is generally a cool card. 2 NFLs. Fundamentals. And I don't know how you play this B1001 considering we have no pings. Carmen does not break Doom Scroll well. But they want to run. Okay, this does something? You can just play this? I mean, X is 0. 17. So we can install them behind here. It's pretty expensive. It's really expensive. So it's probably cheaper just to pay 6 twice and then Oppo. Just spend fundamentals without NFL. FNL. I could see us trashing Luana. It puts us over hand size, but it gets a vulture fund. I'm kind of okay with this life. We play the vulture fund, we get a Luana, the circle of life continues. So this gets trashed. We go get a vulture fund. Like this is such a cool angle. And then we'll just throw out the I think the IP enforcement. It's just like that's cool. That's genuinely a cool play pattern. Trash an asset, get a card from your deck. Halfway through the deck though. This is where like the tech comes out. Docklands, yeah. Wake, oof, they really want to go HQ. Boomerang on the Piranhas. Okay. I think we're to jam TVD to rush a 3. I think he will take it. This is where I play the Vulture Fund. He gets 2 bad publicity and Chesva, and then suddenly like HQ crumbles. Right? What can we get with this that we could put on HQ? The 3rd Piranhas? That's probably right. Like when you put Boomerang, Wake, Docklands, I think you put the 3rd Piranhas. The thing is like you can always just draw. They don't have cards in hand. And then when you res the Piranhas, you get the Luana. Donchao better than Piranhas? I could see a point where, yeah, it's probably true. I don't think Criminal likes to take net damage. But with Shibboleth, they both kind of suck. And like this deck doesn't seem to be on Class Act. It's on Nuka though. Okay, so we triple advance this. They bounce a card. I think we chill. Technically, they're on like 6 more credits because of no free lunch. So this is like risking the HQ bounce. Looks like they're not doing anything. Alrighty then. Hermes? We can repair Hermes. We have our second Oppo. I'm assuming this ice goes back, yeah, which is kind of expensive. I was wrong. The biggest thing wrong with this deck is not the ID. It's the bees. The bees are weird. The bees are really weird. It's like meant to be your Oppo, like punishment. But I don't know if you need them. It'll be Vulture Fund into Luana, right? And except we put Luana behind some imaginary third eyes. Oh my god. They have a lot of money. Like, I do think we eventually lose. These look like spins, they're not. I forgot you had 2 counters for this. All right, we're going for it. Last click? Oh, I guess we have no free lunches. Okay, so let's see what happens. Oh, we just shuffled the deck again. Shut up. We just shuffled the deck that we set up with embedded reporting. I hate myself. Please not another Lotto jump the square girl. We got pushed. No, we make 2 remotes. 2 remotes. All right, save to break all of this. It's 5 credits. You can FA another agenda with Shib. Even more bites. Yeah, once we get the Shib down to 1, it's really, really bad. We can't really FA much, though. We haven't found a Holloman yet. We're going to feel this transfer. Nice. This is still 4 credits though. The thing is, if we played what's it called? Scapegoat. I don't know if it would be that good. Ooh, next big thing steal. So Oppo's online. And they have to use the NFL here. Okay, so we do Vulture Fund into Oppo. Into install. Shibboleth is still good. There's a thick slab of ice, no longer really doing much. I mean, what can you do? So we can use the next big thing. I won't use it now. So we'll do the Vulture Fund. Yeah. They're on 4-bet publicity. I think we do Luana. I think we do Luana. I think we do Luana big Oppo. I don't care. End turn. I'm gonna throw out these are all good cards, Brett. Yeah. Oh, we can search for punishment. No, we'll leave it. We can keep the top of R&D safe though, which should actually be pretty good. All right, so he can close 4 tags here. So we probably should have jammed an agenda, let's be honest. Because like he can't easily clear 4 tags. I don't think we're cashing a check. We can't. Yeah, the Bs are online. We probably should have jammed an agenda here. It's not even perfect though because of these no free lunches. Is 2 NFLs though? Yeah, I know. It's not good. We have to basically hold Luana captive. Undo click. You can. Huh? Uh-oh. They just lost 16 credits. Long live Luana. I mean, she's good. She seems good. This just feels like we don't have a game plan. Sorry? What's going on? Why are they losing a credit? Why do they lose a credit? No, it's all good. Why did you lose the credit though? What am I missing? But why? Are they Zaya? I mean, sorry, Hoshiko? Oh, they clicked Paladin? Oh, okay, I guess. Oh, they clicked Paladin. Okay, whatever. It doesn't show that they clicked Paladin, does it? Oh, yeah, to take 1. Yeah, you're right. I think we concede this game. We can't win. We literally cannot win the game. If I res this grubber, they even with Merjan, they break it for 2 credits. This is not good. I think 3 ace on HQ was a huge mistake. We can't res this. Razor scapegoats. I'm gonna res this one. I don't care. Spend your money. It's only good when you res 2 ice. That's why this res is bad. Because if they spend 12, that's something. Spending 6 is nothing. Like now they spend 5 on the server. They actually use Marjana? Wait, is this the same? It's the same cost? Yeah, it's the same cost if they run R&D. That's really funny. Got him. No, this is bad. 4 bad publicity in Cheswa. Help. Send help. Yeah. Hedge fund. How do you win? Like, is it literally just protect Luana? And if you can't protect Luana, you can't win because they have all the bad people in the world? I think that's probably it. I think we're not playing this correctly. But I think the idea is if they can't trash Luana, you don't have text. Like, this seems like it would be really cheap. Sorry, expensive. But they have 6 free credits on this run, which probably still not good enough. Maybe you need some Scapegoat. Honestly, yeah, but the thing is, like, they would allow us to put a card on top of their deck. I think that's what Scapegoat does. Like, none of these cards matter, right? Like, they're not playing twinning. 2, 4, 1. Okay. Yeah, we haven't seen a Hollow Man, which is like the only thing that gives us any sort of threat. But at this point, the ship has sailed. Wait, this is still expensive. Is this good? How much did they possibly pay for this? Eventually, Shibboleth is going to be bad. I think we're living for that world. We're waiting for Shibboleth to be bad. Like, how much money did he start that run on? I don't feel that bad. Are we okay? Is this good? We always have the next big thing button, of course. We just basically have to do another big oppo and see what happens. These get trashed totally for free, but you shouldn't trash these. No, we have oppo. Don't trash these. Oh, no. Yeah, technically winnable. I don't think you want to trash these with oppo. They're obviously free, but like... I'm doing it. I'm believing. Go. How's the runner's turn again? I mean, we're not doing much. Oh my god, we're coming back. Yes. We're coming back, team. Go. Not the Luana. It's always the Luana London. It's how we stop the bad publicity. We have to Luana. It's gonna be. We have 16 cards left in R&D. They're all agendas. No, this one's good. There's no pinhole in this deck. There's not a pinhole to be found. I don't know what this Nilo is gonna do. When your turn begins, remove a bad publicity. Seems good. Oh no, bad publicity all gone. Wait, how do we win? Find a Hollow Man, I think. Shuffle cards into R&D. I mean, I like our cards in HQ. That's where they're nice and safe. This goes back. I think we have to score this, but we can't never advance it. We can never advance the headline. So we'll do 1, 2, 3. This leaves us with 7 cards. We're going to do install. Yeah, that's fine. So we're going to do... I want to trash this, I think. We didn't bleed an ounce of information there. Bigger picture isn't needed. I think we're going to need some amount of tag punishment. Because we threw out the other one. ID is good too. I mean, I'm not convinced. We could have put the Hollow In onto Luana. But we're going to deck out before the game's over. We're down to 2 bad publicity. Luana's doing it. The best card. Don't worry about Hermes. Oh, this could be bad. This Shibboleth just needs to go down to 1 strength, and then this run can't happen. We could lose on this run. It's not likely. But technically, we want to res the Hollow Man, right? Fire all unbroken? What does that do? Draw a card? Sure. Mistake. This is okay. Oh boy. Why would they just break the first 2? I don't know. I'm not doing any of the math. The math seems to be for blockers at this point. It got a bit worse. It's okay. Yeah, now they're not breaking all of them. Yeah. Hit a mutual, doesn't matter. There's a chance no agendas are stolen here. We're also going to deck out to our own card, but whatever. Can't risk spin during encounter? No. Yeah, if you're playing around spin, you have to resident on approach. A lot of people don't do that. Doom scroll embedded, easy. Oh, we're gonna lose to this though. GG. We had no shot. That felt awful. Hey, thanks, you too. Yeah, we had no shot there. Our deck is mostly agendas. 2, 4. No, there's 3 agendas and 9 cards. I mean, that's still relatively high. We got down to 9 cards in R&D. I don't get it. I want to watch Cody play this because obviously Cody did all right with this thing, even well. How does NBN win games? It's Holloman. It's 100% Holloman. This is the first Holloman we've seen in 2 games. But like putting Holloman on the table and like threatening scores every turn is definitely good. Mind you, Epiphany is winning tournaments and events, and the answer to that deck is also Holloman. But Epiphany is really good and really fun. Yeah, Revanchlet's a big part of that. But this I don't get. This just seems like if you high roll and do Vulture Fund to Vulture Fund, maybe you have a deck. But I think I played this like embarrassingly bad. I was really hoping that they would have to struggle with Shibboleth at 1 strength, but like the turn that they got Shibboleth to 1 strength, they won, which like we should have seen that coming. Their Wake and Plan charges were good, and then R&D obviously has like 4 agendas and 10 cards just a moment ago. How does Wayland win game with Holloman? Not necessarily, but it helps. I think the idea is we go between 0 and 1 bad publicity, not rack it up like red cap decks. Yeah, Gyro, I think so too, but we never landed Luana. But the problem is like, I think you go to 2 because I think you do Vulture Fund for Luana, but you have to plan around that. And we messed that up. But I do think you have to go for Vulture Fund. I think I would like less B1001s, more consistency. Like I could see us playing digital rights management maybe. I don't know what you have to play, but like it doesn't seem like we have consistent tools to close the game out. Need ideas for my Synapse because Nilo Wage Workers ain't it. Yeah, that is like a bit more fun, but I do think Flood the Market Synapse is fun. Maybe play like a Bailey or something like that. Well played. That was a mess, but I think we did not do that deck any favors, but it's good to know that people are playing Editorial Division. Cody's a really cool player too. Nice guy. That's mostly it. It's past midnight, so we're gonna have to call this one in. I want to give a huge shout out. Ooh, actually, we had just a new Patreon 13 minutes ago. Aurora, thanks so much. We had some new patrons, but I haven't had time to update the thing, so I'm gonna read out some names here. But thank you so much to all these names here and more that support the Metropole Grid. We had 3 new patrons. First, Aurora, Sure Gamble patron. Thanks so much. Also, Zook is a Sure Gamble patron. And I think we did shout out Harry Heathcock just from last week. But thank you so much to all these names here. Also, those nice folks and the Daily Cast patrons supporting the channel so we can do stuff like this. Just hanging out and streaming is really fun. Video content has been a bit slow. We'll get back to that stuff relatively soon. I'm joining as a guest on some video content on another channel just tomorrow. That'll be up in the near future. I'll let you know when that's up. But thank you. If you want to support the channel, you can find a link to the Patreon below. Also, if you just want to leave a like on the video, that also helps. Leave a subscribe and comment, all that sort of stuff helps the algorithm a heck of a lot. Now, this weekend, there's a lot of Netrunner going on. As soon as tomorrow night on Jai's channel, link in the description, there is the APAC Man of the Moon Showdown. If you're playing at that or you're watching, good luck, have fun. Those are always great events. On Sunday, Eternal Super League returns for its penultimate week, week 8 of 9. Those have been really exciting weeks. So if you want to tune in, it's like Sunday afternoon at 3 p.m. I'll be doing that streaming on the Eternal Super League channel, so we'll catch you out there. Again, there's a lot of decks people are posting it. Shout out to organizers, to Nick, to Oda Nuvo, who ran our event this Saturday. I embarrassingly still don't have the ABR up, but if you want to come to Montreal, our district is on the 25th of next month of, what would that be? April. That's a Saturday. It's a single 1-day event. We got the prize support in from make sure don't show address, but we have the scatter fields from the NPC that just came in. So we're gonna have some good prize support. Hopefully you can drop by for that. If you have any questions, please hit me up about that. You can reach me in the comments, but we're looking forward to running a nice big event. Again, we had 16 people at a CTK on Saturday, which is pretty sick. People are hyped for the new set, so that's great. That's mostly it. I think that was all the shout outs, but we'll catch you in the next one. and enjoy your weekend of Netrunner. Thanks so much for hanging out, y'all. Hopefully y'all have been well. Hopefully it's been a good vantage point for you. I know it has been for myself as well. Deck lists to a lot of things I talk about will be in the description. I'm not going to share the Epiphany list yet because I do think Whiteblade is going to do it. So I'm waiting for her right up. Take care, y'all.